I gain a shop that can shift freely between the wasteland and the real world. I fully expect to be torn apart by countless zombies, but the shop actually comes with absolute defense. So I sell worthless instant noodles, bottled water, and sausages at sky-high prices. In this deadly wasteland, I am going to build my very own business empire. Right now, I am holding my burning hot phone, listening to my girlfriend's ice-cold voice, "Milo, we are done." It turns out that in the 3 years since I graduated, I changed jobs 3 times and failed to save a single penny. My girlfriend could not stand my poverty any longer and ran straight into the arms of the trust fund kid Victor. After the call ends, I slump into my chair. Over the past few years, I racked up $350,000 in debt to pay for my parents' treatment. In the end, they still passed away. The debt is still unpaid, and all that is left is this half-dead little shop. But right at this moment, the world spins around me. As the background shifts, I realize I have arrived in the wasteland. Through the window, I see a horde of zombies. The zombies notice the shop that appeared out of nowhere. The very next second, they all charge at me like they have lost their minds. I think to myself, I am done for. But the sound of shattering glass never comes. The door that used to break at the slightest touch does not budge an inch. Just then, a hollow screen appears before my eyes. Current world, apocalypse. Shop status, absolute safety. Dimensional shift, available again in 12 hours. In other words, as long as I stay here for 12 hours, I can return to the real world. I glance at the monsters outside and scratch my head in frustration. This tiny shop, barely 200 square feet, is packed with all kinds of goods: braised beef, instant noodles, bottled water, sausages, bread, cookies. Back in the real world, all of this combined is barely worth anything. But what about here? A thought claws its way up from the depths of my mind. In the wasteland, the most precious thing is not gold, not diamonds. It is clean food and water. I rush to the counter and grab the most ordinary bottle of water. This bottle costs $2 in the real world. In this zombie-infested world, how much is it worth? I think of that $350,000 in debt, and I think of Tiffany's words on the phone, "We are done." I twist open the bottle and take a long, hard gulp. What I need to do now is use these 12 hours to earn my first fortune. I am already calculating. 1 bottle of water for 1 gram of gold. No, too little. 1 bottle for 10 grams. 1 pack of noodles for 100 grams. I force myself to calm down. I need customers first. A dozen zombies are blocking the entrance. No survivor would dare come close. But sitting here for 12 hours doing nothing? No way. My eyes land on the braised beef noodles, and a plan takes shape in my mind. In this world, drenched in rust and rot, what could possibly be more lethal than the aroma of a steaming bowl of instant noodles? I plug in the power and flip the switch. The kettle starts gurgling. The shop actually has electricity. It seems this system-bound space is completely independent from the outside, a world of its own. The water boils fast, and a rich, overpowering aroma explodes inside the shop. Even I cannot help swallowing hard. But now comes the problem. How do I get this deadly scent to the outside? I certainly cannot open the door. I pace around the shop, and my eyes finally lock onto a ventilation fan. The rich aroma drifts through that tiny vent and out into the deathly silent world beyond. Time ticks by, second by second. The silence outside remains absolute. Just when my patience runs dry, a blast of flame engulfs those zombies in an instant. I watch through the window, on full alert. It is a woman. Her gaze sizes up this shop that sticks out among the surrounding ruins. Interesting. Someone actually dares to run a shop in a hellhole like this. She walks straight toward the entrance, but the next second slams right into an invisible wall. So you are an awakened too? Is this your power? A moment of silence. I am Nightingale. Milo, what is the price for that? Gold. What era do you think this is? Who even uses that useless stuff anymore? My shop only accepts gold. Seeing how firm my stance is, Nightingale raises her hand and sends a fireball flying, aimed straight at my face. But the flame vanishes the instant it touches the barrier, disappearing completely. Now can we talk business? Fine, boss Milo. How much for a bowl of noodles? Not much. 100 grams of gold. 100 grams? Why don't you just rob people? Even if gold is as worthless as scrap iron now, that does not mean it grows on trees. You don't have to buy. With that, I ignore her and start eating the noodles I just prepared. The slurping is painfully loud. Nightingale's throat bobs involuntarily. She cannot even remember the last time she had a hot meal. Day after day, she has been surviving on scavenged canned food and energy bars. That stuff keeps you alive but gives zero satisfaction. Right then, her stomach lets out a faint growl. The sound is barely audible, but in this dead silence it hits like thunder. Nightingale's cheeks flush red in an instant. I act like I hear nothing, and keep enjoying my noodles. I don't have that much gold right now. Can I put it on a tab? No tabs at this shop. I am not here to run a charity. Besides, I will be gone in less than 12 hours. Who knows if Nightingale can get the gold back in time. Finally, I finish the last bite and let out a satisfied burp. I casually grab a sausage off the shelf, flick it with my finger, and it arcs perfectly through the air as casually as tossing food to a stray cat. Nightingale's body goes rigid. This is pure naked disrespect. But reason tells her to pick it up and eat it. Time seems to freeze. 2.5 seconds later, hunger defeats dignity. In just 3 bites the sausage is gone. That is my good faith gesture. 100 grams of gold for 1 bowl of noodles. Fair and square. Wait for me. She drops those 2 words and turns to leave. With her abilities, as long as she finds a survivor settlement or a pre-apocalypse bank vault, getting 100 grams of gold is no big deal. But I call out to stop her. Hold on. I pull out a can of cola, nice and easy. The legendary cola. a drink you could find anywhere before the apocalypse, but today it is more luxurious than the finest wine. This one is 50 grams of gold per can. Before Nightingale can respond, I tear open a pack of spicy snack sticks. This one is cheap, 30 grams of gold a pack, ice-cold cola, spicy snack sticks, piping hot noodle soup. Before the apocalypse, these three were the cheapest combo you could find, but now they are filled with the ultimate temptation. Nightingale's fists clench at her sides until they creak. You had better have enough stock. Then her figure vanishes. She's going to get gold. Right now. Immediately. The dimensional shift still has 10.5 hours of cooldown. I start taking inventory. 10 cases of instant noodles, 15 cases of bottled water, snack sticks and sausages fully stocked. I even dig out 5 eggs in the corner. An idea sparks in my mind. A little over an hour later, a loud crash comes from outside. Nightingale is back. She looks a bit roughed up, and she is holding a black bag. 200 grams of gold. Not a gram less. A prompt appears. Allow this item one-way entry into the safe zone. I silently think, allow. The black bag is lifted by an invisible hand and floats gently down to my feet. Nightingale's pupils contract sharply. This man is even more cautious than she thought. After verifying and counting the goods, I pull out braised beef noodles and ice-cold cola and snack sticks. Then, right in front of Nightingale, I boil another kettle. Finally, I carry that steaming bowl of noodles to the doorway. Just as Nightingale thinks I'm about to hand it over, I suddenly stop and pull an egg from my pocket. I look at Nightingale. Hey gorgeous, want an egg on top? How much? 50 grams of gold. One egg, 50 grams of gold? Why don't you just rob people? You don't have to add it. The eggs at this shop are reserved for special customers. I start putting the egg back. Wait, Nightingale, a powerful flame awakened, has always been the one others bow down to. But today she keeps swallowing her pride. The words "I don't want it" get stuck in her throat and refuse to come out. She reaches into a small leather pouch at her waist. A crystal the size of a pigeon egg rests quietly in her palm. I am out of gold for now. Use this for the egg. I raise an eyebrow, wondering what the heck this thing is. Just as I am about to refuse, a hollow screen pops up. High energy signature detected. Item, low tier zombie crystal core. Strongly recommended. Complete this transaction. I had it wrong. I had it all wrong. I have been using the shop the wrong way this entire time. I have been so busy figuring out how to pay off that $350,000 in debt that I missed the shop's true purpose. These crystal cores. In an instant, everything clicks. But I keep a look of disgust on my face. What is this ugly rock? It looks gross. This is a crystal core from inside a zombie's brain. It is essential for awakened training. Gold is not even worthy of being compared. So this crystal is some kind of power resource in this world? What would a shopkeeper like me need it for? Nightingale is shaking with rage. This man is impossible to deal with and blind as a bat. I watch her looking ready to explode and let out a sigh. Fine, you seem sincere enough. I will make an exception just this once. The moment those words leave my mouth, I silently think the command. Collect. The crystal core vanishes from Nightingale's palm in an instant. I do not even glance at it. I just shove the core into my pocket. Then I hand over the deluxe egg-top supreme noodles, along with the cola and snack sticks. She grabs a fork and wolfs it all down, not leaving even the scallions at the bottom. She cracks open the cola and downs it in one go. Only then does she tear open the snack sticks and eat them one by one. Through all of it, I just watch in silence. I will be back. Nightingale drops those words and disappears into the darkness around the corner. After she leaves, I pull out the crystal core. Low-tier zombie crystal core. Can break the human gene lock. Upon use, there is a chance of becoming awakened. If absorption fails, the user will be broken down into base particles on the spot. Success rate, below 1%. My hand twitches and I nearly fling the core away. What the hell? Below 1%? This is not an opportunity. This is a one-way ticket to hell. But the shop pops up a new prompt. Within the shop's range, the player is immune to all forms of damage, including but not limited to physical damage, energy blasts, mental corruption, and genetic collapse. I look at the core in my hand again. For me, this is zero risk, maximum reward. How do I use it? Swallow directly. This thing does not exactly look edible, but remembering how Nightingale summoned fire out of thin air, I swallow it whole. The next second, a violent wave of pain tears through my entire body. I curl up like a shrimp. Second after second passes until the agony finally fades, replaced by raw power surging through every muscle. Is this what it means to be awakened? This strength is terrifying. I copy Nightingale's pose and strike a stance. Fire! Nothing. Not a single spark on my fingertips. Damn it, did the awakening fail? The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I slam my fist into the shelf next to me. Suddenly the shelf and all the snacks on it vanish. My mind links to another space, and inside that space sits the missing shelf. I try reaching out, and the shelf reappears in its original spot. Only now does the system chime in. Awakened Milo. Awakened ability. Dimensional vault. Capable of isolating space and time. Store and retrieve with a single thought. Current capacity. I practice on a bag of snack sticks, storing it, retrieving it, storing it, retrieving it. Slowly I sink into deep thought. Gold can only solve the debt crisis. Crystal cores are the real path forward. The dimensional shift still has 9 hours of cooldown. I need to stockpile as many crystal cores as I can before I leave. 1 pack of noodles was enough to lure in Nightingale. What if I multiply that scent 10 times, 20 times? So I pull out a massive pot, dump in a full 20 packs of noodles, and crank the vent fan to maximum. This is my doomsday feast. 3 blocks away inside an abandoned building, A young man huddles in a corner. A scarred man wipes down his rifle barrel. A man with glasses speaks with worry. Tiger, Ricky's wounds are getting worse. If we don't find medicine soon, he might. The scarred man they call Tiger nods. Every scrap of food in this district was picked clean long ago. Medicine is a pipe dream. But right then, a scent drifts in. Tiger, someone out there is cooking noodles. Shut up. Logic tells him this is definitely a trap. In the wasteland, anyone brazen enough to cook out in the open is either insane or a hunter with absolute power. But his starving body roars back. Find it and eat it. Specs panics too. Tiger, we are running out of time. If we are late, there won't even be broth left. Tiger knows better than anyone that if this keeps up, all three of them will starve. A fierce glint flashes in his eyes. Move. They weave through the streets and spot a small shop. A massive electric pot sits right at the entrance, filled with noodles and sausages. I lean against the doorframe, completely at ease. Trap. Definitely a trap. All three swallow hard, but do not dare take a single step forward. Just then, Tiger spots a man hiding behind an abandoned vehicle across the way. The man notices Tiger too, and quickly signals him to keep quiet. Tiger calms down and quickly spots more hidden figures. A shadow lurks in a second-floor window to the left. Metal glints from the trash pile in the alley to the right. At least 4 separate groups have been drawn here by the scent, just like them. From inside the shop, I obviously know people have gathered all around. Hey everyone, been watching long enough? Aren't you hungry? My voice is not loud, but it reaches every hidden ear. No one responds. I fish a sausage out of the pot and pop it in my mouth. I am running a business here. Peace makes profit. I have got noodles, water, and sausages. Plenty for everyone. The man behind the abandoned vehicle finally speaks up. What is the price? Gold or crystal cores? Everyone freezes for a second. Crystal cores make sense. That is the ultimate hard currency. But gold? In the wasteland, gold is worth less than a sheet of steel. Then a roar erupts from behind the trash pile. He is messing with us. This punk never planned to trade. Let's take him out. Everything in that pot, we split it. The moment those words hit the air, the atmosphere turns even more tense. Everyone's mind races. I keep eating without even looking up. You can try, but let me be clear. Anyone who attacks loses their right to trade. You will just have to stand there and watch everyone else eat. The man behind the trash cannot take it anymore. Screw this, I don't buy it. He whips out a shotgun. 2 more men crawl out behind him, one with a machete, the other with a steel pipe. Everyone else watches and waits, waiting for the first fool to test me. The man pulls the trigger without hesitation, but the buckshot, about 8 feet from the shop, slams into an invisible wall. The entire time, I do not even twitch an eyebrow. I just fish out another sausage and pop it in my mouth. The entire square falls into an eerie silence. His 2 companions with the machete and the pipe stand frozen. Right then, the man behind the vehicle seems to understand something. Since physical attacks are useless, what about a psychic one? An invisible wave of energy gathers in his palm. An invisible bolt of psychic force shoots toward me. This is his ability, Psychic Pierce. But when the psychic blast hits the shop, it does not even cause a ripple. Now everyone sees it clearly. Inside this shop, I am untouchable. Tiger's back is already drenched in cold sweat. He is beyond grateful he did not act on impulse. I finally finish the noodles in my mouth and turn my gaze toward the man behind the trash pile. I already said, anyone who attacks loses the right to trade. Does anyone else want to try? Silence falls like death. The tension is so thick it is about to drive everyone insane when the rhythmic click of high heels approaches from the distance. Everyone turns toward the sound. It is Nightingale. Tiger recognizes her. Or rather, in these ruins, any survivor who has lived long enough has heard the name Nightingale. A top-tier awakened who wields flame. Why is she here? You sure know how to make a scene. There are always those who don't listen. I suggest all of you drop whatever ideas you are having. Forget your junk weapons. Even I cannot scratch this shop. Dead silence blankets the square again. Tiger takes a deep breath and slowly steps out of hiding, hands open to show he means no harm. Other hidden figures start emerging too. Nightingale ignores everyone else. She pulls a few items from her belt. 3 gleaming gold bars, each one 100 grams. I want cookies, canned food, and water. Everything that is easy to carry and store. For a top-tier hunter like Nightingale, ready-to-eat industrial rations are the smarter choice. I like doing business with smart people. I quickly pull out compressed biscuits, canned luncheon meat, and bottled water. A smooth trade, done in full view of everyone. Nightingale takes the food, turns, and vanishes into the darkness. Every pair of eyes snaps back to me. This time there's no hostility, no testing, only the purest hunger. Now it is your turn. Everyone clear on the rules? Gold or crystal cores for food, except for them, of course. The man from the trash pile cannot hold out any longer. He scrambles over to me on his hands and knees. Boss, I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please, just one bite. Just a sip of broth. His 2 companions drop to their knees behind him, begging. The survivors around them feel no sympathy, only relief that they held back. I already said anyone who attacks loses the right to trade. I stop paying them any attention and scan the crowd. Who else wants to trade? Tiger pulls out a crystal core and holds it up to me. With a single thought, the core floats into my hand. I say nothing and turn to grab 3 large bowls, packing them full of noodles and sausages. Tiger lifts that bowl and feels warmth he has not felt in ages. All 3 of them bury their faces in the bowls and inhale the food. With someone finally breaking the ice, the rest cannot hold back any longer. Boss, I want to trade. Me too. I have got a crystal core. Even the man who launched the psychic attack earlier steps up to me. He silently pulls out 2 crystal cores, not daring to meet my eyes. I accept them without expression and give him a bowl just the same. Once the floodgate of trade opens, there is no closing it. Some bring gold jewelry, others bring crystal cores of all sizes. Soon my counter is piled high with over a dozen cores and the massive pot of noodles is running low. But right then, the three men from before completely lose it. If I cannot eat, then none of you will either. He lunges at a scrawny survivor. Noodles and broth spill everywhere. The other survivors who are eating all stop. Every eye turns on the rule-breaking maniac with cold fury. I stop serving and watch the spectacle. Then suddenly a flash of fire shoots out. He does not even have time to scream. His entire body turns to a handful of ash. His two companions follow him in the same breath. In under 3 seconds, all three vanish from the face of the earth. Nightingale steps slowly out of the darkness. I hate people who break the rules. I grab a can of cola from the cooler and toss it to Nightingale. I say nothing and go back to stirring the noodles. Trade continues in perfect harmony. Tiger's group has already finished eating, not a single drop of broth left. More and more people pour in from every corner of the ruins. The shop's shelves empty at a shocking pace. No one complains about the prices. No one causes trouble. Eventually, I sell out every last item in the shop. Nightingale tosses her empty cola can aside and walks up to me. You made a fortune. When are you coming back? No idea. Nightingale gives me one long look, then turns and vanishes into the darkness. After everyone leaves, the square falls completely silent. With a single thought, I open the dimensional vault. Inside sits over 100 kilograms of gold and a full 33 crystal cores. Absorbing crystal cores will bring extreme pain, but I do not hesitate for a second. I swallow every single one. This time it is not just intense pain. It is a pressure beyond imagination, like my body is about to burst. If I were not inside the shop, this energy would rip me apart in an instant. Through the peak of agony, I absorb the very last trace of energy. When I open my eyes again, I see a bug on the ceiling. Its wings beat in what seems like slow motion. I hear the low growl of the zombies outside, smell every trace of blood and damp earth in the air. My senses have been enhanced to an unbelievable degree. I reach toward the shelf beside me and clench my fist in the air. With a faint tremor, the shelf slowly rises off the ground. This is not the dimensional vault. This is telekinesis. I immediately pull up the system holoscreen. Awakened Milo. Ability 1, Dimensional Vault. Current capacity, 1,000 cubic meters. Ability 2, Telekinesis. Can manipulate objects within 50 kilograms from a distance. I actually unlocked a second ability. For the remaining time, I wait calmly for the countdown to end. As that twisting sensation hits again, I return to the real world. The stench of rust and rot is gone, replaced by the fresh scent of earth and grass. Dimensional shift complete. Current world, Earth. Next shift available in 12 hours. It is still dark outside. I climb back onto my folding cot and sleep for a few hours. At 9 in the morning, I walk into an antique shop at the trade market. Sir, do you buy gold? The owner asks, what purity? Where did you get it? I say nothing and set 2 gold bars on the counter. The heavy thud makes the owner sit bolt upright. He inspects them for a solid 10 minutes before looking up. Top quality. My best offer, 580,000, 700,000. Kid, that is too high. I have got risk on my end and expenses to cover. 700,000. The owner goes silent for a full 30 seconds. Then my account receives a transfer of 700,000. Walking out of the market, I immediately dial the debt collector. Hello? Who is this? Milo. Oh, so you finally call. What, you actually scraped together the money? That is right. Abandoned cement factory number 3, west side of town, 3 in the afternoon. Bring the cash. Come alone. 3 in the afternoon. The cement factory. Bruno stands with 7 or 8 thugs behind him. Seeing me show up alone, he spits out his cigarette butt. Where is the money? Where is the note? Bruno grins. Prices have been going up lately. The boys need to eat too. He holds up 5 fingers. 500,000. I will burn the note right in front of you. I hate people who break the rules. I was going to pay you the full 350,000, but now I am only paying 200,000. My voice is calm, but everyone hears it crystal clear. Bruno's expression freezes. He cannot believe what he just heard. What did you say? 200,000, not a penny more. Get him! A thug grabs a steel pipe and swings it right at me, but instead of blood and broken bones, the pipe freezes 4 inches from my face, caught in my hand like it is nothing. The thug flies across the room as if launched by a catapult. His agonized screams echo through the entire cement factory. Bruno finally snaps out of his shock. Everyone get him! But no matter how many there are, a few elbows from me is all it takes. Within seconds, every thug is on the ground. Bruno is trembling from head to toe, not from anger but from pure fear. Stay away from me! I am warning you, my boss is. The note. Bruno scrambles to pull out a stack of papers. Right in front of his face, I transfer 200,000. It was supposed to be 350,000. Now it is worth 200,000. I tear the note to shreds, turn around, and walk away. That chapter is closed. I have bigger things to do. I head to the used car lot, and before long I'm driving a second-hand van toward the city's biggest wholesale food market. I step inside the warehouse. Before the clerk can even open her mouth, I say, I need 200 cases of instant noodles, 100 cases of sausages, 200 cases of compressed biscuits, 100 cases of canned beef, and 500 cases of bottled water. Stunned by the volume, the staff still gets it ready fast. Why would they question it? The one paying is the one in charge. It takes me the entire day to move everything out. The dimensional shift has 2 hours left. Yesterday was my first trade. Most of the gold was scavenged on the spot from the ruins. To maximize profit, I need volume. I need to partner with the outposts and let them collect the gold. Feeling the power inside me fills me with a strange detachment from my old life. In the remaining 2 hours, I decide to have one good meal and say goodbye to who I used to be. So I drive to the most upscale restaurant in the city. Compared to the luxury cars out front, my van sticks out like a sore thumb. Even the doorman assumes I am here to mooch a parking spot. Sir, this place is. I just pull out a gold nugget the size of a bean and hand it to him. Park it right, park it wrong, and I will break your legs. The heavy weight of that nugget in his hand makes the doorman freeze on the spot. I do not look at him again and walk straight into the restaurant. Soft lighting, well-dressed guests. Everything looks so elegant and relaxed. The polar opposite of the Wasteland. Just as I am reading the menu, a woman's voice calls from nearby. Milo? The voice belongs to my ex-girlfriend Tiffany. The man beside her is none other than the trust fund kid Victor. Victor is caught off guard for a second, then wraps his arm around Tiffany's waist and walks over. Well, if it isn't Milo. What happened to your little shop here to apply as a dishwasher? A single steak here costs $3,800. Your whole month's salary wouldn't cover one bite. Too noisy. Tell the head chef to send out his best. Victor feels like he just punched a cloud. Being completely ignored makes him furious, so he raises his voice even louder. Are you deaf? I'm talking to you, but my face shows absolutely nothing. Tiffany suddenly feels like the man in front of her is a complete stranger. The restaurant manager rushes over. Sir, please calm down. You are disturbing the other guests. Victor sees the manager and gets even bolder. Mr. Clark, perfect timing. Since when does your restaurant let just anyone walk in? Letting someone like him sit here is dragging down your standards. Mr. Clark certainly knows who Victor is. He is the son of some real estate tycoon in the city. But Mr. Clark also notices how unusually calm I am. So he replies, firm but polite. Mr. Victor, our restaurant treats every guest equally. Do you have a private room? Mr. Clark immediately bows a full 90 degrees. Mr. Milo, my sincerest apologies. We failed to serve you properly, and it affected your dining experience. He immediately sends a server to escort me to a private room. From start to finish, I do not give Victor so much as a glance. Victor tries to say something else, but Mr. Clark cuts him off. Mr. Victor, please stop causing a disturbance immediately. Otherwise I will have no choice but to have security escort you and this young lady out. Inside the private room, course after course of exquisite food arrives at my table. There was a time when I could not even afford to walk in the door. Now, having tasted it all, I realize it is nothing special. After the meal, I head back to the shop. The next shift is 150 seconds away. The moment the timer hits 0, the noise of the city vanishes, replaced by the dead silence of the wasteland. The 12-hour cooldown has dropped to 11. I suspect that as the number of shifts increases, eventually I will be able to travel back and forth without limits. I sense many eyes watching me. The survivors from last time have already spread the word about the mysterious shop to every corner. The ones showing up now are no longer starving stragglers. They are organized scouts. After about 10 minutes, a figure approaches the shop. A man with a rifle on his back stops at my door. The name is Scorpion. I represent Bedrock Outpost, and I would like to talk. Talk about what? Our outpost needs supplies. Food, water, medicine, weapons, ammo. We want it all. I do not sell weapons. Not a flicker of disappointment crosses Scorpion's face. He clearly expected that answer. He pulls a gold bar from his pocket and sets it on the counter. Consider this a deposit. We want to establish a long-term partnership. We are hoping for a discount. My prices are the same for everyone. Just then, faint movement ripples through the shadows behind him. Scorpion raises his hand in a calming gesture. We are very sincere. I say nothing. I reach toward the canned meat on the shelf and clench the air. The cans float slowly onto the counter. Scorpion's pupils contract sharply. Telekinesis. Before coming here, Scorpion assumed my only advantage was the shop's unbreakable absolute defense. He never imagined I am a powerful awakened myself. 1 case of canned goods, 1 gold bar. We need an exact number. We need to know how much stock you actually have. That is one of the real reasons he came. I let out a quiet laugh and snap my fingers. A mountain of bottled water materializes on the ground out of thin air. The sight makes Scorpion's brain stall for a solid 2.5 seconds. Is this enough? If not, I snap my fingers again. Another mountain, this time compressed biscuits. Scorpion's throat bobs. The man in front of him does not just have telekinesis, he also has a spatial ability. What is the price? I already told you. 1 gold bar, 1 case of canned goods. We will take everything, but we need time to gather the gold. Gold works for the loose items on the shelves, but for bulk orders you pay with something else. Crystal cores? Impossible. Crystal cores cannot be used for trade. They are the source of every awakened's power. They are the very foundation of our outpost. That is your problem, not mine. The moment those words leave my mouth, both mountains vanish into thin air. The leverage in this deal has been mine from the very start. If Scorpion refuses once other outposts accept the terms, Bedrock will eventually crumble and fall apart for good. We need a specific exchange rate. 100 gold bars plus 10 crystal cores for the water. As for the biscuits, double the price. Scorpion's fists clench so hard at his sides they turn white. This is not just highway robbery. This is a holdup. Scorpion forces himself to breathe and calm down. I need to report back to our leader. That gold bar is your fee for asking directions. I nod, pocket the bar. Scorpion says nothing and retreats slowly into the darkness. I go back behind the counter and wipe down the already spotless surface unhurried. 10 minutes later, 3 figures step forward. A middle-aged man wearing glasses flanked by 2 soldiers. Hello, shop owner. My surname is Keen. Everyone calls me Professor Keen. I am from Lighthouse Shelter. I say nothing and simply watch him. From an economic standpoint, your current model is unsustainable. Once the outposts lose too many crystal cores, they will inevitably collapse. And then who will you sell to? Then whatever is left becomes even more valuable. The smile on Professor Keen's face freezes solid. I do not care about the system or the future. The only thing that matters is that I set the prices. Right then, Nightingale steps out of the darkness. A crystal core drops onto my counter. Without a word, I pull out a self-heating rice meal, a can of beef, and 2 bottles of water. Nightingale takes the goods, turns and walks away. The entire exchange happens in silence. Professor Keen's so-called rational analysis has just become the biggest joke of the day. 100 gold bars plus 10 crystal cores. We will take the water. Deal. But the price just went up. Your little lecture wasted 3 minutes of my time. So now it is 15 crystal cores. We will take it. The man in front of them may not be the strongest awakened in the Wasteland, but his shop is the ultimate trump card. Professor Keen pulls out a military communicator. Bring 100 gold bars and 15 crystal cores. About 20 minutes later, the roar of vehicle engines rumbles in the distance. 2 metal crates land in front of me, one packed with gold bars, the other holding 15 crystal cores. I toss case after case of water beyond the barrier. After the deal is done, several figures emerge from the darkness. Scorpion is back, and behind him stands a 20-strong squad. Both sides instinctively train their guns on each other. We brought what you asked for. The crates open. Not just gold bars, but 20 crystal cores. 10 more than I demanded. Scorpion lets his actions speak louder than words. Professor Keen's face turns deathly pale. Even in the apocalypse, people are one-upping each other. I give a casual wave and pull stacks of compressed biscuits and several cases of canned beef from the dimensional vault. On the house. Scorpion's breath catches for an instant. He bet right. He immediately bows deeply to me, then turns to face Professor Keen. Bedrock came here to trade. We do not want trouble. But if Lighthouse tries anything here, we are ready for a fight. On cue, every gun behind Scorpion chambers around. The Lighthouse soldiers squeeze out a few words through gritted teeth. We are leaving. I watch it all in silence. Fascinating. One faction built on technology and knowledge, another built on brute force and discipline, Bedrock. After Lighthouse leaves, Scorpion bows once more and pulls out fast. These 2 deals net me another 100 kilograms of gold. The quiet does not last long. This time 3 convoys roll in from different directions. Zombie shrieks erupt from every direction. All 3 factions give the order almost simultaneously. Open fire. Heavy machine guns and assault rifles crack on one side while awakened hurl fireballs and ice spikes on the other. After the last zombie drops with a headshot, the square settles into a fragile calm. Boss Warax has something to say. Arc Shelter is here with full sincerity too. Line up. Start over there. Warax runs this whole East District. Since when do we wait in line? Boss, what are you trying to say? We came here with respect and cleared out the zombies for you. I said, line up. If Warax does not follow the rules, I will not sell you a single thing. Warax still carries weight in this East District. Making friends with us would not hurt. I do not care about one more friend or one less. Either follow the rules or leave. Line up? Where does that leave Warax's reputation? The bald brute lets out a growl as if he has made up his mind. He turns to his men and waves hard. Bring the crates up front. I am buying first today. 2 Warax members haul a heavy metal crate forward. Someone broke the rules. Trading is over. With one sweep of my hand, every last bit of stock vanishes into my dimensional vault. The entire shop is empty in a heartbeat. The other 2 factions glare at the bald brute with pure fury. I came here with gold and crystal cores to do you a favor. Don't push your luck. Nobody in the East District dares to ignore Warax. Who do you think you are? I hate barking. Open fire. Blow this dump to dust. A hail of bullets rips toward the shop, but every single round is stopped by the invisible shield. Not only will I never sell Warax another thing, I am putting a bounty on your head. 100 cases of canned beef. Every Warax member freezes. I raise my hand and 100 cases of canned beef appear on the ground. Instantly, every pair of eyes shifts to the bald brute. You all want to turn on me? I am the 3rd boss of Warax. The Hive accepts that bounty. Arc Shelter does too. And you? You are betraying me as well? The Warax members exchange glances. No one dares to meet his eyes. Loyalty. In the Wasteland, loyalty is the cheapest thing there is. Suddenly a blade plunges into the bald brute's chest. The one who struck is his own lieutenant. Why? Why? The lieutenant's face shows nothing. 3rd boss, the boys need to eat too. Then he turns toward the shop. We took him out. This deal belongs to Warax. I already said I will not sell Warax a single thing. They killed their own 3rd boss with their own hands and got nothing in return. However, if these people are no longer Warax members, I only refuse to trade with Warax. As for anyone else, that is a different story. My name is Vera, Supply Chief of Arc Shelter. On behalf of Arc, I formally invite all of you to join us. The Hive also welcomes capable allies. The lieutenant's mind races. We will join Arc. Fighters behind him lower their weapons in unison, pledging allegiance. I lean against the counter and give a casual wave. The mountain of 100 cases of canned beef settles right in front of the lieutenant. The lieutenant knows how to play the game. He walks up to Vera and says, Chief Vera, we are grateful for Arc's protection. These canned goods are a gift to you as a token of goodwill. The Hive crew watches with envy, but they do not dare get any ideas. This time no one raises a single objection. Vera takes her place behind the tiled step. The lean man from the Hive silently lines up behind her. What do you need? Compressed biscuits, water, and noodles. 2 crates pop open. Inside are 50 gold bars and 20 crystal cores. After the deal is done, she is in no rush to leave. Boss Milo, do you take pre-orders? I do. What do you need? Antibiotics, cold medicine, as much as you can get. Go back and make a list, then bring me a deposit. I will have the goods ready next time. Next up is the lean man from the hive. Just like Vera, he pre-orders medicine plus cigarettes and liquor. After the organized trades wrap up, a handful of individuals step up to trade. Some bring gold jewelry, others bring small crystal cores. But then one person brings something completely new, a vehicle battery. The energy density and cycle life of batteries in this world are nearly double what exists in mine. It suddenly hits me. I've been treating this world as nothing more than a crystal core and gold cash machine, completely overlooking the technology this world already had before the disaster struck. I turn around and pull out 2 loaves of bread, a bottle of water, and 2 sausages. The surrounding survivors are stunned. That much for a battery? From now on, I am buying these batteries too. In the back of the crowd, several lone wolves quietly form a circle around the man. He clutches the food tight against his chest, his body shaking. This food is not hope. It is a death sentence. I have questions for this man. Anyone who moves, I will gladly spend a few more cases of canned beef on your heads. Every lone wolf freezes on the spot. After all, Warax's third boss is still lying dead just a few steps away. What is your name? Owen. Owen. Where did this battery come from? Skyreach Tech Park. I used to be a battery engineer at Skyreach Technologies. This Thor Mark 7 is our flagship product. When the disaster hit, we had just finished a production run. The company warehouse still has tens of thousands of finished batteries, but every one of the thousands of employees in the park turned into zombies. I nod. If I use the gold I have to replicate a production line back home, the Thor Mark 7's performance specs could absolutely ignite an energy revolution in the real world. Assuming the production line is destroyed, can you recover the full manufacturing process for this battery? Every raw material formula and procedure? The park servers have complete documentation. As long as I can access a server, I can pull everything out. The way I look at him changes completely. This is no down on his luck engineer. He is a walking key to a treasure vault. For this, I am going to need help from the local powers. With that in mind, I look at Owen. From now on, you work for me. Your job is to evaluate every piece of tech I receive. In return, I will provide you with food and water. A wave of uncontrollable joy surges through Owen's heart. What does it mean to turn your life around overnight? This is exactly what it means. But some survivors are quick thinkers. If Owen can change his fate with a single battery, why can't they? In an instant, a gold rush sweeps through the survivors. A salvaged motherboard from a military drone, a sealed biological sample cooler, even half a burned academic journal. I turn nothing away and hand everything to Owen for evaluation. The gold rush carries on well past midnight. Just then, 2 blinding headlights tear through the darkness, followed by the steady roar of powerful engines. Vera and the lean man step out of their vehicles almost at the same time. Several crates packed with gold and crystal cores sit heavy on the ground. This is a deposit from Ark in the Hive. Deposit received. I will have your goods ready for the next trade. Vera and the lean man bow at the same time, their posture respectfully low. Although the deal is done, neither of them shows any sign of leaving. Their eyes fix on Owen and the pile of tech scrap on the ground. My gaze stays calm. In the north district of the ruins sits Skyreach Tech Park. Tens of thousands of finished Thor Mark 7 batteries are stored there, but the place is infested with over 5,000 zombies. That number is enough to devour anything. Boss Milo, what do you mean? I am giving you a chance to strike it rich. I fund it, you supply the manpower. Clear out the tech park for me, and bring back the server mainframes in perfect condition. Vera and Hornet's minds race at full speed. The risk is hell tier, but the reward is heaven tier. More importantly, this is a chance to build a deep bond with this mysterious shopkeeper. The Hive accepts. Our Ripper Squad has the strongest solo assault capability in the entire ruins. Mission guaranteed. Hornet, don't oversell it. Ark has the best tech team in the ruins. Hacking, dismantling, transport. Only we can pull it off without a single hitch. The Skyreach Tech Park mission Bedrock accepts. We have the most awakened fighters. We guarantee the servers come back in one piece. What a joke. 5,000 zombies? How many can your awakened kill before they burn out? You would just be marching to your deaths. Scorpion, brute force won't solve this. Without our technicians, you can't even get through the front gate. Skyreach Technologies Chief Power Engineer Dr. Clement is with Lighthouse. No one knows that place better than he does. The moment those words land, Vera, Hornet, and Scorpion all change color at once. Lighthouse has been holding an ace this whole time. Enough. I don't care if it is Ark, Bedrock, or anyone else. I only care about results. If a single server gets damaged, if I don't get what I want, none of you will ever trade so much as a grain of rice from me again. The faces of all 4 representatives drain of color. My words are that direct, that merciless. Bedrock agrees to cooperate. With the first to agree, the other 3 factions quickly follow suit. The 4 most powerful factions in the ruins forge an unprecedented alliance. A terrifying force of nearly 100 awakened and several hundred elite soldiers is born. I point at Owen. He goes with you. Bring him back without a single hair out of place. Rest easy, Boss Milo. We guarantee Mr. Owen's safety. This operation has one more potential risk, Warax. Their third boss died right here. Ragnar holds a grudge over the smallest slight. He will never let this go. Warax may not match them in strength, but if they focus on sabotage, any disruption during a battle against thousands of zombies could be catastrophic. Every pair of eyes locks onto me. One captured Warax grunt is worth 10 cases of canned beef. A squad leader is worth 100. As for their boss Ragnar, I will pay 1,000 cases. No matter if it is you or any drifter in the ruins, whoever brings me his head, the canned goods are theirs. All 4 factions draw a sharp breath. The risk Vera mentioned is no risk at all in front of this man. The square falls dead silent. Not a single representative dares to harbor any hidden agenda. Today it is War X. Tomorrow it could be any one of them. Once a bounty is issued, there is no room for negotiation. Vera, Hornet, Scorpion, Professor Keen, 4 people whose every step shakes the ruins, do not waste another word. They finalize the mission assignments at top speed, then load up and drive off. Before leaving, Vera walks over to Owen. Mr. Owen, please come with us. We will need more details about the tech park on the way. Owen instinctively glances back at the shop. Only after I give him a nod does he climb into Ark's vehicle. I shut the door but do not rush to return to the other world. With a single thought, I pull out every crystal core earned from today's trades. Without a shred of hesitation, I grab a handful and shove them into my mouth. The familiar searing pain hits again. After the very last trace of energy is absorbed, I snap my eyes open. Awakened Milo. Ability 1, Dimensional Vault. Current capacity, 3,000 cubic meters. Ability 2, Telekinesis. Can manipulate objects up to 200 kilograms from a distance, with the added ability to reshape and accelerate objects. This is no longer simple object retrieval. My gaze shifts to the metal shelf in the corner. This time I do not clench my fist or raise my hand. Just one look. In an instant, the shelf is crushed into an ultra-dense block of metal. 12 minutes until the dimensional shift. Time to go back. The Thor Mark 7 battery is like a seed that has planted an entire forest of ambition in my heart. I am no longer satisfied being a simple middleman reseller. I'm going to build my own business empire in this safe, modern world. Those hundreds of kilograms of gold need to become liquid capital fast, but moving that much gold through legitimate channels is flat out impossible. A name surfaces in my mind, Bruno. That lone shark thug must have connections to this city's underground. Using him as a bridge is the most efficient and safest option right now. Once the funds land, the plan is to load up on supplies like mad, fill every inch of the 3,000 cubic meter vault in the shop, then register a tech company and get the framework in place to receive the technical data from Skyreach Tech Park. My thinking is razor sharp. Every step points toward that massive goal. The dimensional shift is ready. With a single thought, the familiar weightlessness wraps around me. Dimensional shift complete. Current world, Earth. Next shift cooldown, 11 hours. Outside the window, the city glows with neon lights and rushing traffic. Compared to the ruins just seconds ago, it feels like 2 entirely different universes. This extreme contrast only makes me more certain. I must hold on to this power with everything I have. Back on Earth, I do not leave the shop right away. Instead, I lie down on the bed. The surge in mental power has drastically reduced my need for sleep, but a few hours of rest still brings the body back to peak condition. When I open my eyes again, it is 11 in the morning. After a quick lunch, I dial Bruno. Hello? Who is this? Milo. Milo. Boss, what can I do for you? I have some product I want to move. Boss, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of? There is a bit of risk, but not much. Same cement factory as last time, come alone. Got it. I will be there on the dot. Soon it is 3 in the afternoon. Same cement factory, but this time I am the one sitting on the couch. Bruno arrives right on schedule. He barely dares to breathe in my presence. Boss, what are you looking to move? I casually pull a gold bar from a burlap sack. Bruno's pupils contract slightly. A 500-gram gold bar. Valuable, sure, but any decent gold shop could handle it. Just as he thinks that, I pull the sack open wider. It is packed with gold bars. Bruno freezes on the spot. His mind goes blank. That is not one bar. It is a pile. 20 bars, 500 grams each. Bruno starts shaking uncontrollably. 20 bars at 500 grams each. That is 10 kilograms. Did someone rob a gold vault? Or hijack an armored truck? He thinks back to what I said on the phone. Not much risk. Not much risk? The moment you touch this stuff, it is express delivery to the guillotine. A case this massive, he would not even dare dream about it. Boss, are you trying to get me killed? Can you handle it or not? Bruno goes silent. He desperately wants to say he cannot, wants to say he is not worthy. He does not dare meet my eyes. In his mind, he has already labeled me as someone utterly terrifying. You can't even move this much gold? You call yourself a loan shark and you can't handle this? Sir, a case this big, I really can't touch it. Relax, this gold is clean. Not a single mark on it. I just can't be bothered to sell them off one by one, you get me? Sir, can I make a call? Check with some people? I wave my hand. Bruno looks as if he has been granted a pardon. He does not even dare step away to make the call. He even puts it on speaker. Hey Bruno, what's up? So, has there been any big gold heist around our turf lately? The guy on the other end sounds confused but answers honestly. What kind of case? There are cameras on every corner these days. Who would dare? Did you hit the jackpot or something? Looking to buy gold? After getting his answer, Bruno feels like a weight has been lifted. He hangs up and looks at me with completely different eyes. Sir, there is no way I can move this much on my own, but I know someone who can. I wave my hand again. Bruno dials another number with trembling hands. What is it? Sylvia, it's Bruno. I've got a big player here with a batch of gold to sell. Serious volume. How much? T10 kilograms, and there's more after that. This time the silence on the other end drags even longer. Half an hour, the usual place, I will inspect it personally. 30 minutes later, we arrive at a private club. Sylvia is a woman in a fitted silk dress. She gestures for me to take a seat. I do not hold back. I stride over and sit down, then drop the sack onto the table. The woman called Sylvia does not pause her tea pouring. Only after sliding the cup in front of me does she finally speak. And you are? Milo. Mr. Milo, may I see the goods? I nod. After the bag is opened, 10 gold bars sit there quietly. Sylvia's technique is razor professional. She examines them for a long time, murmuring to herself, 999 purity, full weight, standard gold bars. Finally she looks up at me. Mr. Milo, a batch this size, where did it come from? I pick up the teacup and take a quiet sip. Mr. Milo, it is not that I don't trust you, but this business has its rules. 10 kilograms is not a small number, I need to know. She studies my expression as she speaks, but I say nothing. I just glance at Bruno. He gets the message instantly and hurries out of the room. Then I pull a gold bar from the bag. Under Sylvia's watchful gaze, I squeeze gently. The gold bar bends in my hands like putty. Someone with this kind of power has no reason to deal in stolen gold. She takes a deep breath and names her price. 700 per gram, 10 kilograms comes to 7 million. I neither accept nor refuse. What is the maximum volume you can handle? Sylvia's expression wavers for just a moment. She is calculating the absolute limit of her entire network. Mr. Milo, if the goods are all this clean, I can move 50 kilograms a month. That is 35 million per month. Too little. I slowly hold up one finger. 100 kilograms, 1 ton. The composure on Sylvia's face finally shatters. Mr. Milo, are you joking? 1 ton of gold at today's market rate is nearly $1 billion in cash flow. My network simply cannot absorb that. It is impossible. Not a single private channel can move a ton of gold in 1 month. This is no longer about money. This is declaring war on the entire modern financial regulation system. And billions in capital movement will absolutely attract attention from above. Of course, I have already considered this. So what if I don't need it all converted to cash? You mean? An asset swap. I need an industrial park or a battery manufacturer. This completely unexpected answer stuns Sylvia. She never imagined I was selling gold not for a life of luxury, but to build real industry. A terrifying being, who can crush gold bars barehanded and produce a ton of gold every month, actually wants to become an industrialist. This is no longer a deal. This is a capital operation on a scale she cannot even fathom. Mr. Lin, this has completely exceeded my authority. I need to report to my superior. I wave my hand once more. Sylvia dials the phone. Sir, it is Sylvia. There is a deal, a big one. The product is gold. Very clean, the volume. At this point she glances at me. I currently have 300 kilograms on hand. The client can supply 1 ton per month. He currently has 300 kilograms ready to go. After the call ends, Sylvia has gone from the one running the deal to a pure messenger. Mr. Milo, my boss wants to meet you in person. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, same location. I nod and point at the gold. Move these first. As a show of good faith, we can offer 800 per gram for this batch. In less than 5 minutes, my account receives 8 million. After the deal is done, Sylvia personally walks me out, all the way until I drive off in my van. After I leave, Bruno sidles up with a grin. Sylvia, so how did it go? That mister. From now on, regarding Mr. Milo, do not ask a single question. Whatever he tells you to do, you do it. If something goes wrong, nobody can protect you. And I do not go back to the shop. Instead, I head to the wholesale center. The salesperson from last time spots me and rushes out to greet me. Boss Lin, you are back. What can I get you this time? Follow this list. Every item 10 times the quantity. The manager glances at the list. His hands tremble. Absolutely, we will get it done. After paying 2 million in goods, I make trip after trip back and forth, until more than half the dimensional vault is full. But I have something even more important to handle. A simple box of antibiotics in that broken world is worth far more than gold. I drive to the city's pharmaceutical wholesale district. I skip the flashy storefronts and instead walk into a small shop tucked in an alley. The middle-aged man inside glances at me. Prescription or hospital purchasing license? Neither. Then I can't sell. But I just pull out my phone and open my balance. A long string of zeros hits the man's eyes. Amoxicillin, tourniquets, gauze, iodine, saline solution. I will take everything you have. The man's breathing completely stops. What do you need all this for? You only need to answer one question. Are you selling or not? He lowers his voice, takes a deep breath. The warehouse is in the back. Follow me. 30 minutes later, my van is stuffed with medical supply crates. Over 1 million wired out. Next stop, the hardware district. Diesel generators. This model. I want 20 units. Solar power banks and matching storage batteries. I will take them all. Wrenches, pliers, welding machines. Yes, do not unbox them. Load them by the crate. Last stop, fuel. I cannot buy through official channels, but Bruno gave me an address. A private fuel depot hidden on the outskirts of town. When the owner learns I want hundreds of barrels of gasoline and diesel, he practically wants to adopt me on the spot. The millions I spend this time will come back 1,000 times over in the other world. The dimensional shift still has half an hour of cooldown, but I decide to hold off. After all, shifting now would put me there at night. I plan to adjust the timing. Arriving in daylight is ideal. Morning comes. I open my eyes at exactly 6 in the morning. The familiar weightlessness instantly wraps around me. Dimensional shift complete. Current world, the apocalypse. Next shift cooldown, 10 hours. The moment I open the door, a group of lone survivors rushes up. Boss, I have got a battery. In his hand is a Thor Mark 7 battery. The next second the battery vanishes, replaced by bread and bottled water. Over the next hour, survivors swarm in non-stop. Then, at 7 o'clock sharp, a faint rumble shakes the ruins. The 4 factions have arrived. All 4 representatives step out of their vehicles. Boss Milo, we are ready. All technical personnel and equipment are fully in position. Hive scouts have already deployed ahead to clear obstacles along the route. Dr. Clement has confirmed the exact location of the server. We can move out at any time. Have any of you eaten breakfast? The sudden question catches Scorpion and the others completely off guard. Before they can answer, I sweep my hand wide. Mountains of instant noodles, self-heating rice meals, and canned goods pile up into a supply mountain. All 4 representatives swallow hard involuntarily. Even for them, eating a full meal is no easy thing. As for eating well, that is pure fantasy. What are you standing around for? Boss Milo is treating you. Go! Scorpion's bark lights the fuse. The next moment, everyone lines up in orderly fashion. Soldiers' eyes go red with emotion on the spot. They shovel food into their mouths. If the pre-mission breakfast is already this grand, and they actually complete the mission, what will they get? Could it be meat at every meal? Just as everyone savors the most luxurious breakfast the Wasteland has ever seen, I make another move. More large cartons hit the ground. This time it is not food, it is cigarettes. In the Wasteland, cigarettes are the second hardest currency after crystal cores. Hand them out. Regular soldiers get 2 packs each, awakened fighters get a full carton. This is not ordinary supplies. This is a spiritual luxury. This single move is more powerful than any pre-battle speech. It does not just fill their stomachs, it soothes their wired nerves. Just when everyone thinks that is all, I raise my hand again. This time it is several black cases stamped with technical markings. Professor Keene rushes forward and cracks open one of the cases. Inside are reconnaissance drones. The other cases hold matching tactical radios. Interference-resistant, ultra-long battery life, thermal imaging. With these, we can avoid 90% of the danger before it even gets close. Scorpion, Vera, and Hornet crowd around. Their breathing turns heavy. In the past, they could only send scouts to risk their lives on recon. Communications were basically just shouting. This is a total game changer. Bellies full, every fighter's morale is at an absolute peak. Move out! The roar of engines merges into a steel flood that shakes the ground itself. The 4 factions of the ruins roll towards Skyreach Tech Park. Bedrock's heavy trucks lead the charge at the front, using reinforced rams to tear through abandoned vehicles blocking the road. Ark's convoy holds the center. Vera monitors the surroundings from her vehicle via drone, calmly coordinating each unit's route. The Hive's motorcycles, led by Hornet, patrol both flanks. Lighthouse's transport trucks hold steady at the rear, protecting Professor Keene, the tech team, and Dr. Clement. Just then a Hive scout's voice crackles over the radio. Small zombie cluster 500 meters ahead, roughly 30, no special variants. Vera responds immediately. Arc Squad 2 clean them out. The moment she finishes, several off-road vehicles break from the main column. Roof-mounted machine guns open fire. A hail of bullets rips the zombie cluster apart in seconds. The entire process is smooth and flawless, without a wasted second. Meanwhile, back at the shop, I lean against my folding cot, watching the monitor in front of me. The screen shows a crystal-clear feed from the drones. The steel convoy halts 1 kilometer from Skyreach Tech Park. The park looks like a small city. 5-meter-tall alloy walls stretch around it in every direction, and every 100 meters stands a watchtower blinking with red lights. Combat units quickly spread out and hold position. Scorpion, Vera, Hornet, and Professor Keene gather together, all 4 of them staring at the screen with grave expressions. Vera zooms in on the gate structure and speaks. The main gate system is completely locked down. We need high-yield explosives to blow it open. Scorpion's eyes flash with a fierce edge. Perfect. Draw every last one of those things out and slaughter them all. Saves us from hunting them down room by room. Everyone agrees. Vera immediately begins planning. Build a fan-shaped defensive perimeter centered on the gate. We hold the breach. Shred every zombie that pours out. Lighthouse handles the demolition. Hive handles perimeter watch and path clearing. Bedrock holds the front line. Execute. The instant she finishes, all 4 factions spring into action. The entire joint force operates like a precision war machine. Bedrock fighters build the first defensive line right in front of the gate, mounting heavy machine guns aimed directly at it. Arc personnel rapidly set directional mines. Several Earth-type awakened press their palms to the ground. A deep rumble shakes the earth, then the solid ground begins to churn. Trench after trench rips open out of nowhere, forming a complex kill zone. Before long, a crude but deadly defensive fortification takes shape. Demolition experts slap high-yield explosives onto the alloy gate then pull back fast. Moments later, an ear-splitting blast tears through the air. In that instant, a massive breach rips open in the gate. The entire field falls into dead silence for several seconds. Then suddenly, countless shrieks pour from the breach. A dense sea of zombies floods through the opening and charges the defensive line. Open fire! At Vera's command, the heavy machine guns erupt in a blaze of fire. Riflemen in the rear open up with concentrated volleys. The wall of bullets tears through the zombie tide, but the sheer number is overwhelming. Countless zombies use fallen bodies as cover and keep charging. In the blink of an eye, they reach the forward perimeter. In barely 10 seconds, the trenches are packed with corpses. More zombies stampede across the bridge of bodies. Right then, the directional mines detonate. A massive blast wipes a huge swath clean in an instant, but fresh waves of black flood fill it right back in. Scorpion roars, "Hold the line!" He grabs a light machine gun himself and pours fire into the tide. Behind him, Bedrock soldiers hold the line with everything they have. On my monitor, blood and carnage fly everywhere. Everything is under control. I watch it all without expression, raising my hand to steer a drone over the entire tech park. Inside, the zombie density is thinning out. Just then, Nightingale's figure appears at the corner. Behind her stands a group of awakened. They eye the shop's fully stocked shelves with naked greed and longing. Nightingale stays perfectly composed. She looks me straight in the eye and gets right to it. "I heard you are hitting Skyreach Tech Park. My people and I can help." My eyes sweep across the group. A faint, amused smirk tugs at my lips. Help? Vera and Scorpion have it covered. Nightingale hears this, and her expression turns subtle. She takes a deep breath. Anything they can do, we can do better. Now she has my interest. I point at the monitor in front of me. See that breach? Every zombie that comes through it is yours. As an advance, each of you can pick up 1 can of beef from Vera. Then show me whether you have earned a seat at the table. The awakened flush with shame and anger. 1 can of beef and you expect us to fight to the death? You think we are beggars? Outraged voices erupt one after another. Nightingale does not hear a word of it. She locks her eyes on me. All of you, shut up. If you want to leave, get lost right now. If you want to stay, follow me to pick up your canned beef and get to work. With that, she turns and strides toward the tech park. The awakened are left staring at each other. After a moment, Scar grits his teeth and follows. The rest see this and fall in line one by one. From inside the shop, I take it all in. A cool, faint curve forms at the corner of my mouth. What I want is not a pack of mercenaries who only care about payment. I want a force that is loyal to me. Before long, Nightingale arrives at the front line with over a dozen awakened. Vera frowns slightly at the sight. Nightingale wastes no words. Orders from Boss Milo. From now on, that breach is ours. Vera asks nothing more. She simply hands out a crate of canned beef. Nightingale and her people accept the cans without expression, then march straight toward the zombie tide without a second thought. Vera watches this with a complicated look. She does not understand why I would send a ragtag bunch of loners into battle, but she swallows her doubt and issues a new order. All units conserve ammunition. Shift fire to both flanks. In an instant, the gunfire thins out. A deadly gap opens in the front line. Countless zombies surge toward the opening. Scar lets out a beastly roar at the sight. He transforms into a hulking humanoid beast over 2 meters tall, charges headlong into the tide, and sends over a dozen zombies flying on impact. The others join the fight. All kinds of awakened abilities explode across the battlefield. But the problem becomes painfully obvious almost immediately. Every awakened is fighting solo. Zero coordination. Their attacks are savage and effective, but their defense is full of holes. Zombies keep slipping through the gaps, and the soldiers behind them have to pick off each one. Nightingale stands at the rear the entire time, watching with cold eyes. Before long, signs of collapse begin to show. Only then does she move. She slowly raises her right hand. An otherworldly flame lotus blooms silently in her palm, radiating a spine-chilling aura of pure destruction. Fall back! The awakened scramble backward in a frenzy. The next second, Nightingale steps forward and gently pushes the flame lotus from her palm. The lotus drifts free, floating lightly toward the center of the tide. The instant it touches down, it erupts into a firestorm that completely engulfs everything within dozens of meters. Over 100 zombies are reduced to ash in the blistering heat. Moments later, the flames die out. Everyone stands frozen, jaws dropped. I watch the monitor and crack a smile. Nightingale is interesting, strong enough, and a clear head on her shoulders. As for the rest, nothing but a ragtag mob. While I am thinking, I notice the flow of zombies from the breach has thinned to a trickle. The interior is nearly cleared. Vera and the others notice it too. Morale surges across the battlefield. After several more rounds of concentrated fire, the zombie tide is cut off for good. Vera's voice rings across the entire line. All units advance, maintain combat formation, move into the park and secure the central plaza. Engines roar back to life. The steel flood pours into Skyreach Tech Park. Inside, over 100 roads branch in every direction. High-tech buildings tower on all sides. Before long, Professor Keene successfully connects to the park's local network. He projects a 3-dimensional map into the air. Vera quickly divides the map into 4 zones. Split up. That is the only way to maximize efficiency. Bedrock clears the east zone. Owen goes with them to check if the production line is intact. The hive sweeps the outer perimeter and rooftops. Ark takes the west zone administration building and data center. Lighthouse escorts Professor Keene and Dr. Clement into the research building to locate the main server. Moments after the orders drop, the joint force splits into 4 teams and pushes toward their targets. Nightingale's group, however, is left standing alone. Every one of them wears a complicated expression, watching helplessly as the 4 factions roll out. Right then, Vera doubles back. Boss Milo has a message. He wants your group to clear the 6 dormitory buildings on the north side. Any issues? Nightingale gives a quiet nod, then sets off toward the dormitory district. Her people follow without a word. Meanwhile, the Lighthouse squad reaches the research building. Professor Keene immediately sends soldiers to sweep the corridors clean, then takes the elevator down to sub-level 3 with Dr. Clement. Moments later, the elevator doors slide open silently. At the end of the sub-level 3 corridor stands a heavy blast door. Dr. Clement spots it and strides forward, punching a string of characters into the control panel beside the door. A click echoes through the corridor. The massive mechanical lock begins to turn. The blast door slowly swings open, and a wave of cold air rushes out. Inside, rows of black server racks stand in perfect formation. Countless indicator lights blink in the darkness. The team rushes in and begins searching. Within moments, Dr. Clement shouts with excitement. Found it! Professor Keene hurries over. Several technicians fan out immediately, plugging storage devices into the server ports and starting the data transfer. A green progress bar crawls across the screen. Professor Keene speaks into his radio, calling Boss Milo. Lighthouse has reached the target location. Data transfer estimated at 40 minutes. At the same time, inside the massive production hall in the east zone, the combat squad has cleared every zombie. Owen stands before a giant piece of production equipment, his fingers flying across the control panel. In no time, the indicator lights above the machine switch from red to green. Owen shouts with excitement. The main structure of this production line is intact. Just swap out a few wear parts, hook up a power source and it can restart. Scorpion looks puzzled. Where are the batteries Boss Milo wanted? Owen points toward a sealed warehouse door deep inside the hall. Bedrock soldiers step forward and pry the door open with crowbars. The warehouse stretches into darkness, lined with endless shelving. Everyone freezes in place, because every shelf is neatly stacked with brand new cartons, each stamped with the bold Thor Mark 7 logo. Just then, a soldier steps forward and slices open a carton. The next second, over a dozen pristine batteries tumble out. The Bedrock soldiers erupt in excitement. Owen darts between the shelves, scanning inventory codes on a tablet at top speed. There are at least 30,000 batteries here, and the storage condition is excellent. Damage rate is under 5%. Scorpion can barely contain his joy. If they bring all this back, the canned goods boss Milo gives as a reward will pile up into a mountain. Then Owen's voice rings out again. There is more than one production line here. There are 2 complete production lines. Scorpion lets out a thunderous laugh. He grabs the radio. Reporting to Boss Milo, East Zone Warehouse, 30,000 intact batteries found, plus 2 complete production lines. Back at the shop, I am still leaning against the cot. The radio delivers one piece of good news after another. The hive has secured all high ground, no major threats detected, North Zone dormitories fully cleared. Yet my expression does not change. I simply float a can of cola off the shelf with telekinesis and crack it open. Soon the data transfer is complete. Every battery is packed and loaded. The 4 teams regroup at the main gate. Scorpion's heart starts to churn with anxiety. He does not know if I will approve the victory feast, or worse, blame him for suggesting it. The thought sends a chill down his spine. Before long, the main force returns to the shop. An eerie quiet settles over the area. Every pair of eyes locks onto the closed roller shutter. After a moment, the shutter slowly rises. I step out, face calm, pace unhurried. My gaze lands on Scorpion. Scorpion, you mentioned a victory feast earlier, didn't you? The moment he hears this, his heart drops straight to the floor. Beads of cold sweat form across his forehead. That was me speaking out of turn, Boss Milo. But I cut him off. Good idea. I raise my hand and give one casual sweep. In an instant, a mountain of meat materializes in the center of the square. Pork, beef, chicken, duck, everything. Then mountains of vegetables and potatoes appear out of thin air, plus hundreds of cases of ice-cold beer. In a heartbeat, the entire square fills with the sound of people swallowing. My voice cuts through. What are you waiting for? Today, all the meat you can eat. The words drop, and for a split second the world goes silent. Then an earth-shaking roar of cheers rips through the sky. The soldiers cannot hold back any longer. They charge toward the mountain of meat. Moments later, Bedrock fighters set up grills and light the charcoal. Our crews start washing vegetables. Hive scouts fan out around the perimeter, standing guard for the feast. Minutes later, the rich smell of grilled meat fills the entire square. People eat barbecue, drink beer, as if the world has gone back to the way it was before everything fell apart. And Nightingale stands at the edge of the crowd, watching me as I calmly take it all in. In this moment, she suddenly understands. What I offered was not an insult. It was not charity. It was a choice. Keep fighting as a lone wolf over scraps or submit to the lion and feast at his table. I lean against the doorframe, sipping my cola. Suddenly, Scorpion rushes over, face flushed with emotion. He bows deeply. Boss Milo, from this day on, Bedrock will be your most loyal ally. My life is yours. I say nothing. I just crush the empty cola can in my hand, toss it into a trash bin 10 meters away, and speak calmly. Follow orders and there will be meat at every meal. Then I turn and walk back into the shadows of the shop. Those words hit like a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart of every single person there. My presence blankets the entire square. The celebration goes on. Vera, Hornet, and Professor Keen sit around a makeshift table. They know full well that from today on, the rules of the ruins have changed. A long time later, the charcoal dies down. The meat mountain has been picked clean. Then the roller shutter rises silently. I step out once more. Every pair of eyes snaps to me. I simply raise my hand and sweep. Mountains of supplies materialize across the square in an instant. Not just crates of compressed biscuits, but countless neatly stacked cases of canned luncheon meat and cartons of cigarettes. There are 2 stockpiles here. One is the agreed payment to the 4 factions. The other goes to every individual who fought today, distributed by combat merit. Come collect it yourselves. Vera handles distribution. Scorpion assists. With that, I turn and head back into the shop. Another thunderous cheer erupts across the square. Vera steps forward and begins organizing the handout by combat records. The entire process runs in perfect order. By now, everyone knows the old era is over. From this day forward, these ruins answer to one set of rules, mine. Soon the distribution wraps up. One by one, the convoys fire their engines and roll out. Before long, the square is left with nothing but a mess of gnawed bones and empty beer bottles. Nightingale and her awakens stand alone in the middle of the square. In this moment, they know with absolute certainty that I am their only option. Seeing this, I give a casual wave. Dozens of cases of noodles and canned goods appear out of thin air. This is your payment, take it and go. The moment those words land, Scar erupts. Are we rags you use and throw away? You think one meal is enough to dismiss us? The group behind him instantly stirs. But Nightingale does not move. She steps forward, lifts her head, and looks me straight in the eye. We want to stay and work for you. The tech park is empty now. It won't be long before scavengers from the ruins come sniffing around. Without guards, all that equipment and those supplies will be stripped clean within a day. The 4 factions have gone back to rest. They won't be back anytime soon. We are the only ones who can get to the park right now. The awakened behind her fall silent, exchanging glances. A faint curve appears at the corner of my mouth. In that case, you are no longer free awakened. From this moment you are my first direct action squad. Codename Nightblade, you are the captain. My voice carries an authority that allows no argument. Nightingale gives a quiet nod. I raise my hand again. The next second, a brand new diesel generator lands on the ground, with several barrels of diesel beside it. Then a compact reconnaissance drone and a control tablet appear, followed by over a dozen brand new military radios. This is your gear. Now take your payment and equipment and move out to the tech park immediately. Set up the dormitory district as a temporary base. If so much as a rat sneaks in, I want a report. Everyone stares at the gear, eyes wide. Even Nightingale cannot fully suppress a flash of excitement. She whips around to face her team and barks, "Everyone, inventory the supplies, prepare to move out." This time the response comes, back in perfect unison. "Copy that, Captain." They load up the gear, climb into vehicles, and tear off toward the tech park in a cloud of dust. I pull my gaze back and slowly lower the roller shutter. Silence returns to the shop. I stare at the intricate industrial blueprints on the computer screen. Full production line schematics and manufacturing process data for the Thor Mark 7 battery. A smile creeps onto my face. The plan is clear. Return to the real world, use the gold in the vault as seed capital, and with these high-performance batteries as the foundation, build a business empire that is truly my own. News of the operation spreads across the wasteland like wildfire. More and more people flood toward the square. Before long, a dense crowd has gathered. My figure appears in the doorway, but I do not bring out any food. I speak coldly. "Let me state my rules one more time. Bring me something of value and trade it for the right to survive." I appoint a man as the steward. With that, a crude but efficient trading market springs to life. Survivors line up one by one to exchange for supplies. I sit inside the shop, storing their old world scrap into the dimensional vault. Time ticks by. The dimensional shift cooldown ends. I look up toward the square. The line stretches longer and longer, snaking several hundred meters into the distance. Seeing this, I tell the steward, "Trading ends at 5 o'clock sharp." Not a second later, the steward jolts, then bellows at the crowd with everything he has. "Boss Milo has spoken. Trading ends at 5 sharp. If you don't make it today, come back early tomorrow." I nod with satisfaction. This steward handles things well. A man with real potential. I pick up the radio and call Nightingale. "Send 2 people here. After trading ends, take the steward to the tech park and set him up with a place to stay." The steward trembles all over with excitement. He immediately turns toward the shop and drops to his knees, bowing 3 times. I shift my attention back to the computer and go through the data one more time, line by line. At 5 o'clock sharp, trading ends. The 2 Nightblade members Nightingale sent have already arrived. The survivors file out. No one dares cause trouble. Soon the square falls silent again. With a single thought, the air around me begins to warp. A blurred vortex appears before my eyes. In the blink of an eye, I am back in the real world. 2 hours remain until the meeting with Sylvia's boss. I head straight to the most upscale mall downtown and walk into a top-tier men's boutique. Half an hour later, I step out in a tailored charcoal gray suit. In this moment, I am no longer the shopkeeper. I am a man of power. 7 in the evening. Tranquil tea house. A white box truck is parked outside the front entrance. I step down from the driver's side. Sylvia is standing at the door to greet me personally, but I walk past her without a word, move to the rear of the truck, and pull out 2 metal crates. The corners of the crates are slightly bent from the sheer weight. Seeing this, Sylvia's pupils contract sharply. 300 kilograms of gold split between 2 crates. Each one weighs over 300 pounds. Yet, he carries one in each hand without breaking a sweat. Sylvia takes a deep breath, forces down the shock, and steps aside to lead the way. The boss is waiting. She leads me through the front gate. I sense several cold presences lurking in the shadows of the courtyard, like a nest of coiled vipers. Soon, Sylvia brings me to a study deep inside the main building. A mahogany desk sits at its center, surrounded by walls of books. An elderly man sits behind the desk, absorbed in a thread-bound antique book. Sylvia bows deeply. "Mr. Tang, Mr. Milo has arrived." Mr. Tang closes the book. His gaze settles on me. I look back at him with equal calm. Then I set both crates down hard on the mahogany desk. The entire surface groans under the impact. 300 kilograms, inspect them. Mr. Tang's eyebrow twitches upward. He does not touch the crates. He simply picks up the desk phone. Soon there is a knock at the door. A middle-aged man wearing gold-rimmed glasses enters the study, carrying precision testing equipment. He lifts the lids. Gold bars sit in perfect rows inside. He begins sampling and weighing them one by one. The inspection finishes quickly. Mr. Tang, 600 bars. Total weight, 300 kilograms. Purity, all verified. Mr. Tang waves his hand. The man and Sylvia exit the room together. Mr. Tang interlaces his fingers on the desk. "I can give you 246 million for this gold." Sylvia tells me you want a battery company. He pushes a tablet toward me. 3 company profiles fill the screen. I do not even glance at them. "Give me Novastar Technologies." The next second, Mr. Tang's pupils contract sharply. Novastar Technologies has nothing of value beyond its factory building and a broken-down production line. It is even located in the suburbs. Clearly, all I need is a legal shell. Mr. Tang wastes no more words. He picks up the phone. "Legal department, prepare a full equity transfer agreement for Novastar Technologies. Finance department, set up a project team immediately. Process this gold through the cleanest channels available." The call ends, and multiple departments kick into high gear. In less than an hour, the contract arrives. I grab a pen and sign my name without hesitation. Mr. Tang stares in disbelief. He never expected me to skip the terms entirely and just sign. But I look at Mr. Tang, my gaze perfectly calm. Now I own this company. I want Novastar Technologies' complete employee roster, including positions, salaries, and all disciplinary records. Also freeze every company account immediately. Seal all physical assets. Without my order, nothing leaves the company. Lastly, notify everyone, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, all hands meeting at the factory. Anyone late or absent is automatically terminated. I will have people handle it exactly as you said. The acquisition price for Novastar is 180 million. How would you like to handle the remaining gold? I hand over a note. I need 5 million in cash. The rest, please hold it for now, Mr. Tang. Once I finish the internal cleanup, transfer it to the company account. Mr. Tang looks at me with a knowing smile. He finds me more unfathomable by the minute. Before long, Sylvia wheels in a small cart. 2 black cases sit on top. Mr. Milo, here is your 5 million. I nod, stand up, give Mr. Tang a slight nod, then grab the cases and walk out. Shortly after I reach the front gate, I toss the 2 cases onto the passenger seat and start the truck. It pulls away into the distance. Back in the study, Sylvia speaks. Are we really going to partner deeply with Mr. Milo? His background is far too mysterious. His methods are ruthlessly aggressive. Our records show his life history was completely ordinary, yet in the span of a few days he has amassed unimaginable wealth. Mr. Tang slowly turns around. His expression is calm. Destroy every piece of information we have gathered. Leave nothing. From now on, no one under us is to investigate Mr. Milo in any way. Violators will be dealt with by house rules, and if Mr. Milo needs anything, meet it at any cost. Sylvia's eyes sharpen. Understood. The next morning at 8:45, several hundred employees gather in the Novastar Technologies factory floor. Everyone whispers nervously. Every face is painted with anxiety and speculation. Just then, an engine roar approaches from the distance. Every pair of eyes snaps to the factory entrance. I walk straight into the crowd holding a folder. Under my gaze, the chatter dies instantly. I open the folder and call over the Novastar board director. You have 10 minutes. Pack your personal belongings and get out. The entire floor freezes. Blood rushes to the director's face. Have you lost your mind? Who the hell do you think you are telling me to get out? Just then, the chief engineer steps forward to plead. We may not have commercialized yet, but we have made breakthrough progress in materials and design. Just give us a little more time and funding. But I cut him off. Your project ran for 3 years. It burned through every cent of the company's research budget and government subsidies, totaling 78 million. The battery samples you produced fell below market standards with severe thermal runaway risks. Your technology is worthless. The engineer nearly collapses. You don't understand anything. You are destroying Novastar. But I respond coldly. Novastar would only die in your hands. I will lead it to a rebirth and turn the entire battery industry upside down. The moment those words land, everyone exchanges stunned looks. Doubt and unease begin to spread. Seeing this, I continue. I call out several executives one after another and lay out the evidence of their embezzlement, item by item. Only now does the crowd realize I am not here to negotiate. I am here to settle accounts. As I finish reading the last name and its crimes, the executive team's arrogance evaporates completely. The threat of prison hangs over every single one of them. Even the director's face drains of all color. But it is not over yet. I keep calling names. My voice cuts like a frozen blade. From the production line to the warehouse, even the logistics team, every person named has been cutting corners and slacking off. Faced with undeniable records, not one of them can utter a single word of defense. They can only slink out the door under the contemptuous stares of their former colleagues. 10 minutes later, nearly a fifth of the workforce is gone. Those who remain are dead silent, not daring to breathe. The air is thick with an intensity no one has ever felt. I close the folder. Then, under everyone's gaze, I bring a briefcase from the truck and drop it in the center of the factory floor. I pop it open in front of everyone. Inside are rows upon rows of neatly stacked red bills. 5 million in cash, laid bare for all to see. I speak plainly. This money is for you. What those people stole and skimmed is far more than this. Starting today, everyone who stays gets a 50% raise. All back pay the director owed will be settled before we reopen. Now everyone line up. Each person receives a 10,000 bonus. The words drop, and the floor falls silent for a heartbeat. Then a volcanic eruption of cheering shakes the building. Every trace of doubt and fear burns away in an instant. A long line forms in front of the briefcase. Every person who receives their share bows deeply to me. However, one discordant voice cuts through. Leland, assistant engineer from the research department, speaks up calmly. Chairman Milo, my name is Leland. I used to run material tests under Chief Engineer Chen. Now the entire executive team has been gutted. Even Chief Engineer Chen is gone. What are we supposed to produce? The whole floor goes silent. A company without a product is a company that cannot survive. Everyone will face unemployment. At that thought, all eyes lock onto me. I skip the speeches. I simply pull out a Thor Mark 7 battery. This is the answer. From today, Novastar Technologies produces only this. Its name is Nova 1. The next second, Leland and several technicians crowd around, eyes full of curiosity and scrutiny. Is this a prototype? Chairman Milo, what are the core specs? Energy density 400 watt-hours per kilogram. Full load cycle life, 5,500 cycles. The air itself seems to freeze. Every technician in the room draws a sharp breath. Leland nearly shouts. That is absolutely impossible. Those numbers defy the laws of physics. Compared to the best experimental samples on the planet, this is pure fantasy. Facing the tidal wave of doubt, I let a faint smirk form. This is exactly the reaction I want. Do you have testing equipment in this factory? Use your most professional gear and your harshest standards to verify whether what I said is true. Leland is completely stunned. He never expected this level of confidence. Then he snaps into action with a roar. All tech and quality teams, follow me. He strides forward carefully, cradles the battery from my hand, and sprints toward the second-floor lab. Half an hour later, testing is complete. Leland charges downstairs like a man possessed. His hands tremble as he holds several test reports. The results are in. Energy density, 401.7 watt-hours per kilogram. Capacity loss under extreme charge-discharge testing. Only density loss under a single safety test. Passed. Everyone freezes in place. The metal block in front of them has just turned into a mountain of gold. After the announcement, Leland can no longer contain the storm inside him. He walks up to me and bows deeply. From this day on, wherever you point, we follow. I turn to the employees by the briefcase. Finish handing out the bonuses and log every name. Tomorrow morning, 9 sharp. Everyone reports for duty. With that, I turn and leave. Under hundreds of fervent stares, I climb into my truck and tear off in a cloud of dust. Inside the cab, I call Sylvia. I need you to handle a few things. Receive the technical data I am sending you. File for patent protection under Novastar Technologies as fast as humanly possible. Classify all technical details at the highest level of secrecy. Also, hire a top-tier professional manager to run the company. Then recruit a team of the nation's best battery industry experts. Finally, organize a press conference for me. 3 days from now. On the other end, Sylvia's eyes sharpen. She is stunned by my razor-sharp decisiveness. Understood. I will get on it immediately. I hang up. Back in the study, Sylvia relays my instructions to Mr. Tang word for word. After listening, a visible expression of admiration crosses his face. Do exactly as she says. Deploy every connection and resource we have. Spare no expense. Let us see what surprise she delivers in 3 days. Soon, Mr. Tang's entire network kicks into overdrive. Within 30 minutes, the top patent firm receives encrypted technical data. 3 elite headhunting firms receive the same commission. Meanwhile, article after article floods the tech headlines, pushing Novastar Technologies to the center of a media storm. On the other side, I follow my routine and restock supplies, then head to the Wasteland. I contact Bedrock, Ark, and the other factions. I tell them to bring crystal cores and gold for trading, and at the same time send teams to Skyreach Tech Park to haul batteries and fully disassemble a production line. Then I call Nightingale over. I hand her fresh supplies first, then have her coordinate with the 4 factions. I know perfectly well that Nightingale's team alone cannot hold all of Skyreach Tech Park, so I order Nightingale to begin recruiting Awakened, with a target of 100 fighters. This time the shift cooldown drops to 9 hours, exactly as I expected. It keeps shrinking towards 0. I end up staying over 10 hours because ruined survivors bring in a massive haul to trade. When trading wraps up, I have collected over 200 kilograms of gold and 30 crystal cores. I store the gold in the dimensional vault. The crystal cores I absorb on the spot. Moments later, my abilities strengthen once again. The dimensional vault expands to 4,000 cubic meters. Telekinesis upgrades to lifting 300 kilograms, with added ability to further compress and accelerate metal. With all this done, I return to the real world, sleep soundly through the night, and head to Novastar the next day. The factory is buzzing with energy like never before. Smiles light up every face. Every few minutes, the lab erupts with shouts of amazement at the battery's performance. I sit in my office, having just hung up with Sylvia. She is on her way with the talent I requested. An hour later, a knock comes at the door. A woman with short hair walks in. This is Kira. Sylvia follows behind her. Before I can speak, Kira cuts in. Time is money. Let us skip the pleasantries. The headhunter said you were about to launch a product that will reshape the industry. With this company on the verge of bankruptcy? Because I can deliver what no one else can. A product powerful enough to shut down every battery maker on the planet. Kira lets out a cold laugh. I have been in this industry for 10 years. I have seen too many young dreamers just like you who all ended up as industry jokes. I came here to confirm one thing. What makes you different? I suddenly smile, stand up, and head for the door. Follow me. Kira freezes for a second, then quickly falls in step. Sylvia jogs to keep up. Soon we reach the second-floor quality lab. I tell Leland to bring the test reports. Kira takes them and scans the pages. Seconds later, her eyes fill with suspicion. Faking data is an art form. Your report is full of holes. Leland turns beet red and protests desperately. Every single number was tested by us personally, but Kira glances around the lab equipment and curls her lip. On these relics from 20 years ago, my expression does not change one bit. How would you like to test it? Simple, Kira says, reaching into her bag for a flash drive. This contains a battery testing protocol I designed myself, the highest standard available, 5 times stricter than the national standard. Your battery needs to run through every single test again, operated entirely by my people. And it has to be done at an internationally certified third-party lab. Done. Sylvia, help me out. Contact Mr. Tang. I need access to the Zhongke Testing Center lab right now. Kira freezes on the spot. She never expected me to agree so easily, let alone request the most elite lab in the country. Sylvia pulls out her phone and dials. In less than 10 minutes, Sylvia walks briskly to my side. Mr. Milo, it is all arranged. The lab is open to us for the next 24 hours. I pick up the Nova 1 from the table and lead the group out. Shortly after, we arrive at the Jonkei testing center. Kira takes her team straight into the core lab. She plugs the flash drive into the computer, then places the Nova 1 battery into the testing apparatus. Moments later, at Kira's command, testing officially begins. One brutally rigorous test after another is executed in rapid succession. The lab falls completely silent except for the hum of instruments. Everyone holds their breath, waiting. Time crawls by, second after second. Kira and her team grow more and more shaken. The Nova 1 performs flawlessly under every single test. When the final test is done, a steel needle pierces the battery. Every reading on the screen holds rock steady. The entire lab sinks into silence. Kira stares at the flawless report for a long time before uttering 3 words. A new era. She slowly turns to face me. I am in, but I have one more question. Can a product like this actually be mass-produced? What about cost? This is her last shred of rational caution as a professional manager. I do not answer with words. I simply pull another flash drive from my pocket and hand it to her. This contains the complete manufacturing process for the Nova 1, along with a production line retrofit plan. Your job is to convert the production line for mass production as fast as possible. As for manufacturing cost, it is only 10% above current mainstream batteries. Kira's mind goes completely blank. She takes the drive with trembling hands. She knows what is inside is not just digital data. It is a secret powerful enough to overturn the entire global industrial order. In this moment, Kira's eyes blaze with fire. I understand. From this moment on, Leland is the Chief Technology Officer. Everyone back to the company right now. In 2 days, I want every one of you to have these blueprints burned into your brains. Then something occurs to Kira. She looks at me, brow furrowed. Chairman Milo, the materials needed for the production line retrofit will take a month to arrive. What do we show the media at the launch in 2 days? I will handle the core components. Send me the parts list. I will have everything delivered by tomorrow at the latest. Your job is to get the production line running before the launch and produce the first finished unit. With that, I walk straight out of the lab. The others scramble into action. Half an hour later, at Novastar's office, Leland hands me a materials list. I take the list, barely glance at it, and stuff it in my pocket. Wait for my word. I leave with nothing else. Before long, I am back at the shop. I trigger the shift and return to the Wasteland. I grab the radio and start calling people in. In less than 20 minutes, 3 off-road vehicles pull up outside the shop. Vera steps out with Owen and Dr. Clement. Boss Milo, the people you asked for are here. I nod at Vera and hand over the list. Go to the tech park and bring these back. Every single item on this list, not one piece missing. Tear the production line apart if you have to. Owen and Dr. Clement feel their hearts lurch, but neither dares to object. Mission will be completed. Moments later, the convoy rolls out, racing toward the tech park. I switch the radio to the open channel. This is Milo, trading is open. Bring your gold and crystal cores. The moment I finish, replies flood the radio one after another. Bedrock Outpost copy. Hive copy. Lighthouse copy. Arc copy. I switch to the encrypted channel. Nightingale, how is recruitment going? We have screened 30 Awakens so far. Per your orders, we are running the second round of loyalty vetting. Good. I do not feed deadweight or traitors. As long as they are willing to work, supplies are unlimited. Understood. Within 3 days, Nightblade's full roster will be on your desk. Hearing this, I set down the radio and wait. In less than an hour, engines roar from all 4 directions at once. The 4 factions' vehicles line up in front of the shop. Scorpion is first in line. He sets down 2 heavy metal crates. Boss Milo, this is everything Bedrock has stockpiled. Right behind him is Hornet, followed by Arc and Lighthouse. The metal crates open. Gold bar after gold bar and crystal cores are counted out. I casually sweep them into the dimensional vault. The 4 factions wait in orderly lines and collect their pre-ordered supplies. Crate after crate of goods is hauled away. Cigarettes, liquor, rice, meat, medicine, even radios and drones. Under my supply chain, the quality of life for the 4 factions and their Awakens steadily improves. Trading goes smoothly. In total, I harvest nearly 300 kilograms of gold and 42 crystal cores. Soon the square falls silent again. I absorb every crystal core on the spot. A cold wave of energy floods through my body. I can clearly feel my psychic field expanding rapidly. The precision and power of my telekinesis multiply. The weight limit breaks through to 400 kilograms with ease. The dimensional vault's interior expands to 5,000 cubic meters. Just then, an engine sounds outside. Vera, Owen, and the others pull up in front of the shop, their vehicles loaded with precision components. Vera steps to the door. Boss Milo, every core component and material on the list accounted for. I stand up. Good. At this moment, the Novastar Technologies factory is ablaze with light. The factory floor roars with the sound of cutting metal. Kira stands on the second floor platform, overlooking the frenzy below. Her eyes are bloodshot, but her commands are still sharp and decisive. The entire tech team, under her relentless pressure, runs like an overwound clock, pushing past every limit. Just then, a low engine rumble echoes. I pull my truck up to the factory entrance. Every eye in the building locks onto me. I step down from the driver's seat, walk to the rear, and pull open the heavy cargo doors. The next second, a truck bed packed wall-to-wall with components is revealed. Leland practically trips over himself rushing over. The surrounding technicians swarm in. Everyone moves at maximum speed to unload. Kira walks up to me. She says nothing. She just gives me one long deep look, then spins around and shouts at the tech team. Leland, take your crew and start installing the core drive shaft. Team 2, pre-calibrate the high-precision sensor array. Team 3, load all alloy components into the welding stations in sequence. Before dawn, I want this production line alive. The next second, an earth-shaking chorus of replies booms back, rattling the entire factory. Then, the workers dive in. The production line that was nothing but an empty frame now fills up at a pace visible to the naked eye, precision component by precision component. Time blurs in the thunder of machinery. When the first pale light of dawn touches the eastern sky, Leland personally torques the final high-strength bolt into place. The entire production line is complete. Kira walks to the master control console. She hits the start button. A deep hum of electricity floods the factory floor. The entire production line awakens like a steel titan. Over 100 indicator lights flicker on one by one. Every eye is drawn in. The instruments coordinate with flawless precision. The entire process runs like water. But at the very last step, a piercing alarm suddenly screams. Warning, internal pressure abnormal. Threshold exceeded. Kira's face changes instantly. She dashes to the console. What happened? Leland rushes over, hands flying across the controls. He speaks, voice trembling. It is the reaction spike during shield coating formation. The Nova 1 material is too aggressive. The energy released in that instant is too much. The casing might not hold. Every heart in the room sinks. Everyone believes failure is inevitable. But then the pressure curve plunges and stabilizes within the safe zone. The piercing alarm cuts off abruptly. Leland stares at the screen in a daze. The Nova 1 absorbed the energy surge with its own internal structure. The alloy casing deformation rate is 0. He whips his head toward the production line. It worked! At the end of the line, a Nova 1 battery slowly emerges. The next second, thunderous cheers explode. We did it! We actually made it! Several veteran technicians who have been up all night scream with joy. Even Kira cannot stop trembling. She steps forward, cradles the battery in her palms, then raises it high for everyone to see. We did it! I lean against my truck door in the distance, a quiet smile on my face. Moments later, the cheering dies down. Kira's eyes sharpen again. We have less than 27 hours until the launch. I will draft a complete event plan and speech. Everyone, dismissed for rest. Regroup at 4 this afternoon for the final pre-to-launch briefing. Kira hands the battery to me. I take it and hand it straight to Sylvia, telling her to keep it safe. Soon, the entire factory falls quiet. Kira begins laying out the launch plan. I suggest we split the event into 3 parts. First, present data using the Zhongke Testing Center report. Second, run a live product test on stage. Third, announce our future production roadmap and initial partnership intentions. Just then, Sylvia's phone buzzes. She glances at it and her face fills with shock. President Kira, Chairman Milo, look at this. She holds the phone out. On the screen is a breaking financial news alert. Titan Energy CEO Desmond has given an interview, positioning himself as an industry leader to publicly attack Novastar Technologies. He claims Novastar's production line was abandoned long ago and that the company lacks even the most basic battery production credentials. He calls on the industry to boycott what he calls market-destroying behavior. The article ends with a photo of a dilapidated production line. The mood inside the factory drops to freezing. But then Kira suddenly laughs. She stands up and walks to the production line. Chairman Milo, I request permission to change the launch plan. Tomorrow we skip all product introductions. Instead, we fill the entire factory floor with cameras, live stream to the whole world, and produce a brand new Nova 1 right in front of everyone. Then immediately run a hell mode stress test. Finally, tear it apart on camera so the entire world can see the Nova 1 is no empty shell. Can you lock down the media coverage and live stream platforms? Absolutely. Kira's voice is rock solid. I nod, pull out my phone, and make a call. Send an invitation to Titan Energy headquarters. Tell them I have reserved the center seat in the front row just for him. Shortly after, inside Titan Energy's chairman's office, Desmond has just wrapped up a meeting with investors. He has turned Novastar Technologies into a synonym for capital fraud. His interview dominates every major financial headline. In his mind, this war is already over. But right then, his chief assistant enters. President Desmond, they have invited you to their product launch tomorrow. Desmond takes the invitation, opens it, and reads the almost taunting text. Rage rises in his chest. Good, a fool who doesn't know his place. Tell them I accept. I want to see firsthand how they crash and burn. The assistant nods and quickly exits. That afternoon, the internet explodes. First, Titan Energy's official account announces that Chairman Desmond has accepted Novastar's invitation, with the stated goal of exposing an industry scam and protecting market integrity. Immediately after, Novastar's official account drops a single poster. On it, just a few bold lines, we will do one thing and one thing only. From raw parts to a finished battery. From production to teardown. Tomorrow, 10 in the morning, global live stream. See you there. The poster detonates across the internet like a bomb, instantly turning the launch into the most watched event in the country. Meanwhile, inside the Novastar factory, Leland and his technicians are running final checks on the line. Kira walks up to me. Chairman Milo, that outfit of yours is not going to hold the room tomorrow. I look down at what I am wearing. You are right. So Kira and I head to the most exclusive luxury mall in the city. Before long, I park my truck outside the mall entrance and walk into a high-end suit shop with Kira. She speaks the moment we step inside. We need a suit for tomorrow. The fabric needs to command the room but not shout. The master tailor scans me head to toe and finishes his assessment in seconds. He turns and pulls out a few fabric swatches. How about these Italian high thread count wools? Kira picks one up, runs her fingers over it. This one. What follows is a fast but thorough round of measuring and fitting. Right then, a voice dripping with sarcasm cuts in. Well, well, if it isn't the great boss Milo. Does your little shop earn enough to buy a scrap of cloth here? Victor strolls in with his arm around Tiffany. She spots me and her face twists with contempt. Victor, don't be so harsh. Clothes here aren't cheap. Maybe Milo has turned things around and even paid off his 350,000 debt. I left that past behind long ago, so from start to finish, I say nothing. I just calmly continue my fitting. But being ignored stings Tiffany with humiliation and anger. Kira instantly reads the dynamic. She takes half a step forward, her gaze locking onto Victor. The president of Grandview Construction under Titan Energy is your father, correct? That is right, at least you have some sense. Victor assumes Kira is trying to suck up. Instead, her tone is flat. Your company's capital chain on the South Side real estate project snapped. Your father, to cover the gap, diverted $300 million from a designated bank loan. Grandview's available cash is probably under $20 million right now. And the final repayment date is the 15th of next month, isn't it? Victor's face goes white with terror. He freezes, unable to comprehend how Kira knows these inside details. Everything he was showing off a moment ago has just been ripped to shreds. Kira does not spare him another glance. She turns to the tailor. Match these measurements with 2 premium dress shirts and 3 ties. Deliver everything to this address before 9 tomorrow morning. She places a business card on the counter. The words Nova Star Technologies leap off the card into Victor's eyes. In that instant, every recent news headline collides in his brain. The next second, Victor lets out an almost manic laugh. The president of a scam company? What right does she have to investigate my family's business? Tiffany remembers the viral headlines and sneers along. I thought you had found a sugar mama. Turns out it is just a con woman. You two really are made for each other. Kira watches them with an even gaze. Victor marches up to her, his finger nearly jabbing her face. Right now, get on your knees and apologize. One phone call from me and I shut your whole company down. I step sideways, placing myself between Kira and Victor. Victor meets my ice-cold stare and immediately falters. But I do not raise a hand. I speak calmly. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, Nova Star Technologies factory. I welcome you to bring your media friends along. I turn away from him without another word, give Kira a nod, and together we walk out. A wave of humiliation crashes over Victor. My words echo in his head, like charity from someone too powerful to bother explaining himself. A vicious glint flashes in Victor's eyes. Fine. I will show the whole world what you really are, Milo. The next morning at 9, the once desolate East Side Industrial Zone becomes the focus of the entire city, even the whole country. The entrance to the Nova Star factory is packed wall to wall. Major media vans clog every road. Countless influencers hold up phones, streaming live. Just then, a stir ripples through the crowd. A Rolls-Royce Phantom glides up slowly, stopping at the factory gate. Desmond steps out, flanked by bodyguards. A warm, confident smile sits on his face. Camera flashes erupt instantly. Reporters swarm him. Sir, do you have evidence of Nova Star's fraud? What is your take on this kamikaze-style livestream? Desmond stops and faces the cameras with a smile. I am not here today to attack anyone. I am simply a veteran who has spent half his life in this industry, here to witness firsthand the so-called rise of a newcomer. As for the truth, I believe the facts will give us the best answer. With that, Desmond walks inside. Right then, a red Ferrari pulls up at the entrance. Victor steps out with Tiffany on his arm, chin held high. Behind them trails his entourage of media friends. Moments later, Victor and Tiffany push through the crowd and enter the venue. Inside the factory, the audience area is divided into several sections, all facing the production line. Over a dozen high-definition cameras are mounted alongside it, capable of capturing every last detail. The entire venue is eerily quiet. Everyone is stunned by the spectacle before them. Time ticks by. At exactly 10 in the morning, every light in the venue goes dark. The eyes of the entire world focus on this one spot. In the darkness, a single spotlight beams down from the ceiling, illuminating the futuristic production line. At the same time, the livestream cameras lock on, projecting the feed onto massive screens for all to see. The audience buzzes with chatter. Desmond sits in the reserved front row center seat, brow furrowed. He spots something wrong immediately. Looking at this production line that defies everything he knows, a creeping unease tightens in his chest. Right then, Kira approaches with steady, measured steps. She stops directly in front of the production line. Distinguished guests, members of the media, good morning. I am Kira, president of Nova Star Technologies. Today we will show you, starting from the most basic raw materials, the creation of a Nova 1 battery. Now please welcome our chairman, Milo. My figure appears before the entire audience. I am wearing a tailored suit. My eyes are calm as still water. I walk casually to the control console and lean against it. Welcome to our launch. As Kira said, today we do one thing only. Live production. I press the button on the console. The next second, the dormant production line roars to life. Over 100 indicator lights flicker on one by one. Mechanical arms rise smoothly into standby position. The giant screens light up, divided into multiple zones. The main feed shows a close-up of Workstation 1, where an array of raw materials sits on display. Kira begins introducing each material, from silicon dioxide to graphite powder. Desmond scoffs openly. Smoke and mirrors. Are they trying to stall for time? Victor doubles over laughing. Is this a middle school science class? The livestream chat floods with mocking comments, but then the production line fires up. Mechanical arms grab precise amounts of raw material and feed them into a fully sealed furnace unit. On screen, the internal temperature readings spike instantly. At the same time, Kira narrates calmly. Through our proprietary plasma bombardment process, raw materials are broken down to atomic level. All impurities are stripped away, yielding pure silicon, lithium, and carbon. The silicon atoms are then restructured to form our proprietary three-dimensional porous silicon-carbon framework. This is the key to achieving ultra-high energy density and stability. Every word from Kira lands like a bomb. The smile on Desmond's face freezes solid. He has only seen those terms in cutting-edge research journals or even science fiction. Desmond snaps upright in his seat, eyes locked on the rapidly updating data. Every figure on screen matches the process perfectly. Moments later, Desmond leans toward his technical director and hisses, "Find out where this technology came from." But the director's forehead breaks out in cold sweat. "Sir, we already checked. Fewer than 5 labs in the world can achieve this, and even their samples are measured in milligrams." Hearing this, Desmond's heart sinks deeper. Just then, production enters the next phase. Kira continues her narration, one breakthrough concept after another. Suddenly, Desmond jerks his head up. A fierce glint flashes in his eyes. "I have found the flaw in this scam. This has to be a pre-recorded video. If I demand something they cannot deliver, the whole thing collapses on the spot." With that thought, Desmond wastes no more time. He shoots to his feet, cutting off Kira mid-sentence. "President Kira, one moment please. The technology you are showing is impressive, I will give you that. But how can I be sure this is not a professionally produced video?" The crowd instantly erupts. Questions and doubts fly from every direction. Desmond's cold smirk deepens. "I demand that this video be stopped immediately. Let any member of the press here choose at random and film the production line in real time with our cameras. Put that feed on the big screen. If you can pull that off, I will apologize to you in front of the entire world." The entire factory falls dead silent. Every eye locks onto Kira and me. Victor is trembling with excitement. "They won't dare, I told you they are frauds." Seconds crawl by. I finally straighten up, step forward, and walk to the very front of the stage. Done. My answer hits like a thunderbolt inside every single mind. Even Desmond's smile goes stiff, but he forces down the shock. "Chairman Milo has nerve. Then let us begin." Desmond sends his chief cameraman forward. Kira gives a signal to the crew. Quickly, a technician brings up a data cable. Kira speaks. "This is the backup port. It connects directly to the main screen. Please go ahead." Desmond grits his teeth. He personally walks over to the cameraman, hooks up the cable, and orders him to aim the lens at the ultrasonic fusion unit. Desmond shouts, "I want you to rerun this step right now. I want the entire interior of this equipment filmed." This demand is even harsher than before, but once again my response defies all expectations. "No problem. Though standing down there you probably cannot see very well. Why don't you and your cameraman come up on stage and verify every step at zero distance?" The entire venue is thunderstruck. Desmond's mind goes completely blank. Going up means he becomes the challenger, scrutinizing everything under the eyes of the entire world. If all of this turns out to be real, he will become the biggest joke of the century. But refusing is the same as admitting he is scared. Desmond takes a deep breath, then walks up onto the stage. His cameraman follows close behind. Without a wasted word, I turn back to the console and press the button. The next second the line starts up, running the material fusion sequence. The cameraman immediately presses his lens against the equipment. The main screen now shows the camera's raw live feed. 2 streams of differently colored powder are injected. They begin spinning at high speed like twin nebulae. Under some invisible force they are stretched, torn apart, and transformed into 2 dense clouds of mist. Then, guided by a strange force field, they merge flawlessly. The entire process carries a surreal beauty straight out of a science fiction film. The real-time data shows every metric hitting perfect values. The sequence finishes. Desmond is shaking from head to toe. Fear is written all over his face. "This cannot be real. This has to be a hallucination." Right then, I speak calmly. "Did you see that clearly enough? Would you like us to run it again so you can stick your face even closer and get slapped a second time?" Desmond's vision goes dark. He nearly passes out on the spot. Below the stage, Titan Energy's executive team is in total chaos. They know that from today, Titan Energy is finished. But on the big screen, the feed switches back. Battery production continues. One futuristic machine after another activates. Every step hammers the global audience. Then a financial reporter holds up her phone and screams. "Titan Energy stock just hit a circuit breaker 3 minutes after the market opened. Every related stock is in freefall." The second those words hit, no one is watching the production line anymore. Everyone scrambles to check the markets on their phones. Victor sits frozen in his seat. His phone will not stop ringing. He answers, and his father's furious voice blasts through. "What have you done? The stock crashed. The company is finished. Why did you provoke Boss Milo?" Before the sentence even ends, Victor's hand drops lifelessly. In the middle of the chaos, Kira's voice rises once more. "From a grain of sand to a complete Nova 1 battery. Total time, 15 minutes and 23 seconds. Today's livestream ends here." She gives the audience a slight bow, then turns and walks toward me. I straighten up, without sparing a single glance at the crowd below. Under every eye in the room, Kira and I walk through the backstage metal doors. Behind us remains a factory full of people drowning in a storm of emotions. The moment the door shuts, it seals off two worlds. Outside, chaos and frenzy. Inside, you could hear a pin drop. Kira lets out a long breath. It is over. It is not over. This is just the beginning. Kira gives a tired laugh and shakes her head. Before she can say another word, her phone erupts with notifications. She checks it. The screen is packed with missed calls and messages. Countless world-famous electronics brands are fighting to partner with us. Seeing this, Kira barely contains her excitement. Chairman Milo, we did it. The entire world wants our battery. We should expand production immediately and push into every energy sector there is. But my expression stays perfectly calm. How many batteries can that line produce in a day? Compared to the giants placing orders worth hundreds of millions, our output is a speck of dust. The moment we fail to meet market expectations, today's momentum will tear us apart sooner or later. Kira's face turns serious. Then what do we do? I walk up to her and hold up one finger. Concentrate all our power. Punch through a single point first. Electric vehicles. At the same output level, the profit on car batteries can be dozens of times higher. And we need to make one thing clear to the world. Only the most elite cars deserve the Nova 1. Kira grasps my strategy instantly, but a sense of helplessness creeps in. Building a new production line takes at least a year. We cannot afford to wait. Who said I am building one from scratch? There's a path right in front of us. I want you to buy Titan Energy's production facilities. Kira's mind goes blank. She instinctively pushes back. Titan Energy stock may have crashed, but they haven't officially declared bankruptcy. Even if they do, the liquidation process would take over a year at minimum. We do not need to wait. Behind Titan Energy sits an astronomical pile of bank loans. Now that it has collapsed, the ones most terrified are the banks that lent them the money. What happens next is simple. Whoever takes Titan's mess off their hands, the banks will be more than happy to deal. Hearing this, Kira's breathing quickens. I will contact the bank that gave Titan Energy the biggest loan right now. Without another moment of hesitation, she walks to the desk and starts pulling up the relevant data. Meanwhile, the Titan Energy chairman's office is in shambles. Shredded documents litter the floor. Desmond slumps on the sofa, lifeless. He still cannot figure out where that production equipment came from. Suddenly, the encrypted phone on his desk lets out a shrill ring. This is the direct line to Director Lee at the bank. Desmond hears the sound and his body jolts. He struggles to his feet and answers. A cold male voice comes through. President Desmond, your company's stock has experienced abnormal volatility. This has triggered the forced liquidation and collateral clauses. You are now required to immediately repay a total of $7.2 billion in loans. Titan Energy has no value left. Desmond goes ice cold from head to toe. He knows every word is true. But after a few seconds of silence, the voice continues. However, just 30 minutes ago, Novastar Technologies called. They are willing to acquire all of your assets in the South District Industrial Park, including facilities, equipment, and land usage rights. Desmond's vision goes black. A surge of humiliation and rage shatters his reason. He is dreaming. I would rather burn the whole factory to the ground than give it to him. His screams echo through the office, but the voice on the other end replies with icy calm. The South District Industrial Park is the core collateral asset. The bank has the right to dispose of it unilaterally. We are simply notifying you. Otherwise you will lose everything with no chance of recovery. The line goes dead. Desmond stands alone, staring into nothing. On the other side of town, in the Novastar office, Kira has just ended her call with Director Lee. She looks at me. The bank has agreed to the acquisition. They will pressure Desmond immediately. I do not turn around. I just answer calmly. Handle the rest. From now on, decisions like this are yours to make. Kira freezes in place. She is stunned, but she swallows the shock. Understood. I will take care of every detail. I nod and head for the production floor. Right now, the factory is buzzing with excitement. Every employee is talking with passion. I walk slowly to the front of the crowd. The next moment, every pair of eyes locks onto me. I scan the room and speak calmly. You have all worked hard these past few days. Today's launch was a success. I will never shortchange anyone who believes in me. Starting this month, every employee gets a 100% raise. The entire floor goes dead silent. The silence stretches for several full seconds. Then an earth-shaking roar of cheers erupts. I ignore the celebration and wave Leland over, then turn and walk into the private office next door. Leland hurries in after me. Inside the control room, I speak. Titan Energy's South District Industrial Park will be ours soon. I need you and your team to form a task force immediately. Based on our tech combined with Titan's existing production lines, put together the fastest, lowest-cost retrofit plan possible. Leland's breath catches. He never imagined Titan Energy's assets would be falling into my hands, but he quickly regains composure. Titan's lines simply cannot produce the Nova 1. Even retrofitting would take a very long time. But I shake my head. Deliberately drop a portion of our proprietary tech. Use existing equipment to produce a scaled-down version of the Nova battery. Its performance will still crush every lithium battery on the market, and the engineering workload drops exponentially. I see, Chairman Milo. We can launch 2 product lines, our in-house line for the highest-end automotive and aerospace sectors, and the Titan-produced line to dominate the consumer market. I will have a preliminary plan ready within 2 days. Leland turns and leaves immediately. Before long, Kira pushes open the control room door. She holds out a tablet. The bank has approved our acquisition offer and initiated an asset preservation order on Titan Energy. They accepted nearly all of our terms. I barely glance at it. I told you these decisions are yours. I just gave Leland a plan. Follow up on it. If there is nothing else, I am heading out. Message me if anything comes up. I stand and leave. Now it is time to buy supplies and head back to the apocalypse to keep digging for treasure. Half an hour later, I arrive at the global warehouse market. This is one of the city's largest supply hubs. I look around and walk straight into the management office. Hello, I need to place a bulk order. I set a sheet of paper on the desk. The manager casually picks up the list and scans it. The next second, his expression freezes solid. Premium rice and flour, 500 tons each. Frozen pork, beef and lamb, 100 tons each. Sir, are you sure this is not a mistake? I say nothing. I just flash my bank balance. The manager's face instantly lights up with an eager grin. Valued customer, one moment please. I will coordinate everything right away. Fastest delivery guaranteed. Over the next few hours, the entire market kicks into overdrive. Countless forklifts and workers are mobilized. Bag after bag of rice and fragrant frozen meat rolls out of the warehouses, loaded onto over a dozen massive container trucks. Under the guise of inspecting quality, I rent a temporary warehouse at the back of the market. Before long, fully loaded trucks roll in one after another. The goods on the list pile into mountains. Soon after, everything has arrived. I pay without blinking. The manager grows even more enthusiastic, promising maximum discounts on any future orders. Before long, I send everyone away. Then I stand before the mountain of rice bags and give a single wave. The next second, the entire supply mountain vanishes and reappears intact inside the dimensional vault. Silent and efficient. On top of all this, I also buy tons of cooking oil, salt and sugar, walls of canned goods, compressed biscuits and instant noodles, plus mountains of medicine and medical supplies. Beyond that, I order over 100 barrels of gasoline and diesel. With roughly a tenth of the vault still free, I immediately drive to the industrial hardware market and load up on every kind of industrial material, even a few CNC machines and 3D printing units. Only when the dimensional vault is stuffed to the brim do I drive back to the shop. The familiar weightlessness hits. The world warps and folds before my eyes. The next second, I am in the Wasteland. I take a moment to adjust to the sensory shock of the shift. A moment later, I grab the radio. Nightingale, what is the status at the tech park? All clear. Per your orders, we restored the park's surveillance and alarm systems. 3 defensive perimeters are set up around the dormitory district. Nothing gets past us. Over the past few days, more than 300 scavengers tried to sneak in. We captured some of them. Nightblade's official roster is now at 43. Excellent work. You have exceeded my expectations. Send a team to the square. I brought supplies. Copy that, boss. Nightingale's reply is crisp and sharp. After the call, I switch to the open channel. Trading is open. Those 3 words land like a depth charge. The next second, replies flood in. Bedrock copy. Hive copy. Lighthouse copy. Arc copy. I have been away for 2 days because of the launch. That absence left the 4 factions deeply uneasy. After tasting the richness of real beef, the pleasure of cigarettes and liquor, no one wants to go back to the old life. Rumors spread that I was unhappy with the trades. Some even said I had been killed. Now that I have returned, the 4 factions breathe a collective sigh of relief. In less than 20 minutes, a Nightblade convoy arrives at the square. Leading the team is Scar. The wild defiance that once marked his face is gone. In its place, reverence and fierce devotion. Boss Milo! I give a light wave. The next second, crates upon crates of supplies materialize. Canned goods, seafood, lamb chops, drinks, beer, peanuts, even a few brand new portable generators. This is your reward and resupply. Tell Nightingale to go all out. Supplies are unlimited. Scar sees the haul and his eyes instantly go red with emotion. Thank you, boss. I will pass on every word. After the Nightblade convoy leaves, the 4 factions trading teams arrive one after another. This time they bring even more gold and crystal cores. The entire process runs without a hitch. The 4 factions behave like well-disciplined schoolchildren. Soon everyone is gone and the square falls silent. I count the haul. Over 500 kilograms of gold and 63 crystal cores. Without a shred of hesitation, I absorb every single core. In an instant, a massive wave of energy detonates inside me. Telekinesis breaks through to 500 kilograms. The dimensional vault expands to 6,000 cubic meters. And a brand new ability unlocks, Blink. Now I can burn psychic energy to teleport freely within a 20-meter radius. Before my mental reserves run dry, I can blink at least 30 times. I start testing immediately. I focus telekinesis on a coin and launch it. In a fraction of a second, the coin breaks the sound barrier. Feeling the surging power inside me, I burst out laughing. This is the one true law of the Wasteland. I radio arc. Have Owen and Dr. Clement meet me at the square. I will arrange it immediately. Vera's reply comes without a beat of hesitation. Soon the ARC convoy reaches the square. Several fully armed soldiers escort Owen and Dr. Clement. The 2 hurry forward. Moments later, I stand at the shop entrance. I need more components. Where can I find them? Dr. Clement takes a deep breath. There are 3 production facilities, but the situation is grim. The first is in the North District Heavy Industrial Zone. That area has one of the densest zombie concentrations anywhere. The second is the West Suburb Logistics Hub. The population density there was enormous before the fall, but now it is a city of the dead. As for the third, it is very far away. With current road conditions, getting there would be nearly impossible. Besides the Thor Mark 7 battery, what other technology did Skyreach have? Dr. Clement and Owen exchange a glance. Then Dr. Clement speaks. The Thor Mark 8. Its energy density is 3 times that of the Mark 7. It also has burst overload output capability. It was the only battery developed specifically for specialized equipment, but the core materials are extremely rare and the manufacturing process incredibly complex, making costs prohibitively high. The company kept only one production line, at the West Suburb Logistics Hub. I go silent, the air grows heavy. Right then, Owen suddenly speaks up, his voice charged with excitement. Skyreach was not just a battery supplier. Before the disaster, the company invested heavily in Project Pioneer. The final product of that project was the Pioneer 1. It was designed for construction and excavation. It stands roughly 6 meters tall, fully electric, and can carry up to 6 Thor Mark 8 batteries. At full charge, it can operate for 72 hours of high-intensity work. My mind starts racing. Even if this thing was not built for combat, with a few modifications it could become a true weapon of war. Tell me everything. I learn more details. The Pioneer 1's core research base is in Haizhou City, 200 kilometers away. The base holds 3 fully assembled units, parts for 10 more, and 1 production line. But the journey is long and extremely dangerous. My heartbeat quickens uncontrollably. The shockwave from the Pioneer will be 100 times greater than the Thor Mark 7. I have to get my hands on it. I quickly regain composure. You can head back. I turn and walk back into the shop, slowly pulling down the roller shutter, sealing off the outside world. Before long, armored vehicle engines rumble across the square and fade into the distance. Inside the shop, I sit in my chair and start brainstorming. Going alone is too risky. Nightblade is too small. The 4 factions are a mixed bag of fighters, with uneven equipment, completely incapable of a long-range expedition. Right now, even the West Suburb Logistics Hub is out of reach. I need thousands of people, a well-equipped, iron-willed army. Behind that army lies a massive supply chain and a fully operational rear base. I need to center everything on the shop, launch a massive construction project, build a fortified stronghold, then expand outwards step by step, and pull every last piece of value from the ruins. With the initial plan taking shape, I grab the radio and contact Nightingale. I have a new plan. Build a stronghold centered on the shop and the central square. I need manpower. Anyone who has ever worked in construction or industry. Your job is to find them. Nightingale's breathing quickens. She pushes down the shock. Immediately, I am on it. After the call, I switch to the open channel. This is Milo. I am establishing a permanent trading post and safe zone at the central square. Starting tomorrow, large-scale construction begins. During construction, I need a security detail, double the scale of the Skyreach Tech Park assault. Supplies will be settled daily. These words slam into the hearts of the 4 faction leaders like a sledgehammer. Shock and indignation churn inside them, but they have no second option. I have an endless supply of resources, and I am not the least bit worried about resistance from the factions. There are bigger things to do. I pull out a sheet of paper and start sketching on the back. The shop as the center point, the central square as the core zone. Step 1, the wall. A wall strong enough to hold against a full-scale zombie tide, even withstand a heavy-class mutant charge. Preliminary estimate, at least 10 meters tall, no less than 3 meters thick. The wall must be poured with reinforced concrete, with high-strength alloy steel plates embedded inside as the skeleton. This is without question a colossal undertaking. The materials needed are astronomical. Yet in my eyes, none of this is a problem. All I need is a big enough warehouse and a long enough shopping list. Dawn is just breaking. Outside the roller shutter, scavengers wait with burning anticipation. I step out of the shop and get straight to the point. I am hiring workers, 3 meals a day, all the meat you can eat. The crowd erupts. I offer no explanation. I just raise my hand and wave. The next second, several crates of canned luncheon meat appear out of thin air. I speak calmly. Spread the word. The square is recruiting workers to build a stronghold. Anyone interested, come register now. These cans are your payment for spreading the news. 1 per person. In 8 hours, construction officially begins. A man in the crowd steps forward, grabs a can, and turns toward the depths of the ruins. I am going to tell everyone. Seeing this, the rest snap to action. They scatter like wildfire to every corner of the city, spreading the word at top speed. Once the square empties, I radio Nightingale. Assemble your entire team. 8 hours from now, everyone at the square. Prepare to receive the first wave of construction workers and materials. I switch to the open channel. 8 hours from now, construction at the central square begins on schedule. I need all defensive units in position before we break ground. 8 hours from now, I pay the first day's wages. I cut the radio without waiting for replies. I pull down the shutter and trigger the shift. After the familiar weightlessness, I am back in the real world. Mountains of supplies need buying. So I immediately think of Mr. Tang. I pull out my phone and call Sylvia. I have an 800-kilogram shipment ready to move. I need to reach Mr. Tang immediately. Sylvia's voice trembles with shock. Soon Mr. Tang takes the phone. Mr. Milo, same price as last time? Works for me. But besides cash, I need a few other things. Cement and rebar, as much as you can get. Excavators, bulldozers, and other heavy construction equipment. Working condition is fine. Mr. Tang falls silent for a long time. Finally he speaks. What you are asking for is no small order. Gathering it all at once will take some time. I reply with a hint of amusement in my voice. For anyone else, that would be a problem. But I believe for you, Mr. Tang, this is no problem at all. I want results in 6 hours. I hang up. In the study, Mr. Tang sits with his eyes closed. Sylvia speaks with concern. This is way beyond our normal scope. There is no way to source all of this through standard channels in such a short time, and it is bound to attract attention. But Mr. Tang slowly opens his eyes. Did Mr. Milo not attract attention when he unveiled the Nova one? The people above noticed him long ago. Our little moves are nothing compared to his. What he wants must be ready in 6 hours. Pay a premium if you have to, but everything must arrive on time. I am on it. She knows Mr. Tang has made his decision. This is an all-in gamble. The stake, the Tang family's fate for the next several decades. Meanwhile, I head back to the global warehouse market. The manager spots me and his face lights up with an eager grin. Boss Milo, welcome back. I say nothing. I just hand over a new list. The manager takes it with both hands. The next second his eyes nearly pop out. The quantities are triple the last order. On top of that, 5,000 sets of tents, hard hats, and other construction gear. The manager's hands shake holding a list. But my voice carries no ripple of emotion. Fill the order. Money is not an issue. Right away, right away. The manager does not dare ask a single question. He sprints toward the warehouse zone. The entire market erupts into frenzied activity again. I rent the same transit warehouse as before, standing at the entrance watching truck after truck roll in. Before long, the last crate is swept into the dimensional vault. Then a message from Sylvia. Everything is in position. Staged at the abandoned industrial park on the east side, ready for pickup anytime. At the same time, Kira calls. A director from the Energy Bureau named Zhang has specifically requested a meeting with you. He is very interested in our battery and production roadmap. Tomorrow at 10 in the morning, he will personally visit Nova Star. Receive him normally, I will handle the rest. The first payment for the Titan Production Park acquisition is 300 million. No problem, I will take care of it. I hang up. Before long, I arrive at the Tranquil Tea House. Sylvia, already notified, is waiting at the entrance. I open the cargo bay and point at several crates. Everything is here. Get people to carry it in. Sylvia immediately starts coordinating. Then she leads me to the reception hall. Inside, Mr. Tang greets me with a warm smile. Mr. Milo, mission accomplished. Everything you asked for has been gathered. I smile back. I appreciate the effort, Mr. Tang. It is my pleasure. The gold totals 656 million. Your materials at cost come to 180 million. I also had Sylvia prepare the Titan acquisition funds. The balance, along with the previous amount, will be wired to your account. Additionally, to celebrate your successful launch, I would like to personally gift you 5 million. Please do not refuse. Mr. Tang, that does not sound like business. Mr. Tang laughs. From the moment you unveiled the Nova one, I knew you were destined for greatness. I am old, but the Tang family must carry on. So I have chosen to stand with you. Whatever you need, if it is within my power, consider it done. Also, I have dealt with Director Zhang before. As long as you show willingness to cooperate and present a solid production plan, they will clear many obstacles for you. Thank you for the advice, Mr. Tang. In our future dealings, I will gradually bring in the younger generation of my family. I hope you will be understanding. I say nothing more. I simply nod, then turn and leave the study. Sylvia hurries after me. Mr. Tang stands alone by the window. He knows that from today, the Tang family is bound to me completely. Before long, Sylvia and I arrive at the abandoned industrial park on the east side. Dozens of excavators and bulldozers sit before me. Beside them rise mountains of cement and rebar, plus over a dozen large diesel generator sets. You went above and beyond. It is what we do. If anything comes up, just call. I will take my leave. I nod. Sylvia leaves on her own. I waste no time. I raise my hand and sweep one steel giant after another into the vault, then the mountains of cement and rebar. I drive back to the shop, pull down the shutter, and trigger the shift. In an instant, I am back in the wasteland. The square is packed with a dense sea of people. Nightingale and the Nightblade members form a human wall, keeping the excited survivors separated from the center of the square. At the same time, the 4 factions' forces have finished deploying in the distance. Makeshift machine gun positions form a defensive ring. I step slowly out of the shop and scan the area. Clear the center zone. Nightblade members spring into action, carving a path through the crowd and clearing the largest open area in the center. I stand at the shop entrance and sweep my hand. Hundreds of bags of cement drop into neat rows on the ground. Then bundles of rebar, mountains of gravel, and crate after crate of tools. But this is only the beginning. Under every stunned gaze, heavy construction machines slam onto the ground one by one. Gasps of shock ripple through the crowd. I ignore them and turn to Nightingale. Find every engineer and skilled worker, have them inspect the equipment. Get the electricians to fire up the generators and rig the lights. I want this place lit up like daylight. Everyone else splits into teams to clear the foundation and lay rebar. Nightingale does not hesitate for a second. She raises a bullhorn. Her voice carries across the entire square. All personnel with engineering experience step forward. Construction workers to the left. Heavy equipment operators to the right. Electricians in the center. Move it. The crowd surges into motion, splitting across the square. Before long, 3 long lines form. The rest are grouped by physical ability for hauling materials and clearing the site. Everyone follows orders. Work hard. Anyone who slacks off or tries anything funny faces the consequences. Nightingale snaps her fingers. The next second, flames erupt and melt a nearby steel pipe into liquid metal on the spot. Every survivor feels a chill run through them. They throw themselves into work without delay. Several electricians start checking fuel lines and wiring cables. Moments later, the diesel generators let out a deep roar. Then bulldozers and excavators fire up one after another. For the first time in ages, the symphony of industrial civilization echoes across the wasteland once more. Bulldozers start clearing vehicle wreckage and debris. Survivors strap on hard hats and gloves, prying up concrete with the most basic tools and hauling rubble. Over 1,000 people work the site at once. At the edge of the site, massive field kitchens are already set up. Before long, the aroma of meat stew drifts across the entire square. It becomes the most powerful motivation of all. Meanwhile, inside the ARC command room, the captain and Vera stand side by side, staring at the screen. The captain speaks, his voice heavy with gravity. He's not building a city. He's building a new order. The people inside create because they have hope. The soldiers outside fight to protect that hope. Night falls fast, but the central square blazes as bright as daylight. Sparks fly from rebar under cutting machines. Bulldozers shove broken concrete into deep trenches. Workers chant work songs as they lower foundation rebar into the ditches. For a fleeting moment, it feels like the world before the fall. A Nightblade awakened shouts, "Keep it up! The sooner we finish, the sooner we eat." Out beyond the construction zone, on the ring defense line, a commanding officer drops a zombie with a precise rifle shot. He bellows, "Hold this line. Let one zombie through and I will kick you into next week." Just then, Nightingale appears behind the defense line. "Boss Milo wants you to send representatives to collect today's payment." Hearing this, all four commanding officers light up with joy. They follow Nightingale toward the center of the square. I stand at the shop entrance watching. When they arrive, I give a casual sweep of my hand. Several mountains of supplies materialize. Over 200 cases of canned luncheon meat, compressed biscuits and bottled water, wound treatment supplies, and even full crates of hard liquor and over 100 cartons of cigarettes. The four officers stand there, jaws on the floor. "This is the first day's payment, split it 4 ways. How you haul it and how you divide it is your business." I turn and walk back into the shop. The four representatives stand frozen for a long moment. Then they snap out of it and bark into their radios. "Get people here now to move supplies. Canned goods, liquor, cigarettes, everything." Cheers explode across the defensive positions. Soon the four factions' trucks come roaring in, loading supplies at a frantic pace under their officers' direction. Just as the entire square is drowning in the joy of the haul, a scream cuts across the open channel. "Zombie horde incoming from the east, block 3, too many to count." Every smile freezes. Panic begins spreading through the construction site. But Scorpion snatches a radio and roars, "Think about every can of beef you just got. Steady your weapons and shoot. Form the first line up front." The other officers instantly relay the same orders. Morale surges to an all-time high. Soldiers rush into battle positions, training their guns on the far end of the street. But on the construction site, panic starts to spread. Survivors drop their tools and instinctively bolt. Right then, Nightingale's voice rings out. "Anyone who runs dies right now. Boss Milo is watching from behind. This site is the safest place there is. If you want to live, keep working." The crowd steadies slightly, but fear still spreads. The ground trembles harder and harder. At the end of the street, zombies pour out like a tidal wave. The next second, dozens of machine guns along the ring defense open fire simultaneously. Walls of bullets rip gash after gash through the zombie tide. Explosions thunder through the night sky. The soldiers hold the horde at 200 meters out, but the sheer number is overwhelming. The battle grinds into a stalemate. Right then, a deep boom rolls from the back of the horde. A massive mutant zombie steps out. Its entire body is covered in keratinized armor. It ignores the bullets entirely and charges straight at Bedrock's line. A streak of fire shoots from Nightingale's hand. The mutant's skull is punched clean through. Its body, carried by momentum, tumbles forward, crashing into the fortifications and scattering sandbags and barricade spikes. But the beast never rises again. Other Awakened join the fight. All kinds of abilities detonate across the zombie tide, but the streets are simply too wide. The horde cannot be concentrated and wiped quickly. Screams and distress calls clog the radio channels. The fighting grows bloodier by the second. Despite the soldiers' valor, gaps tear open in the defense line. Dozens of zombies break through the fire net and lunge at the line. Soldiers are forced into hand-to-hand combat. As more and more zombies flood in, the entire perimeter teeters on the edge of collapse. On the construction site, survivors see the carnage and huddle together, shaking with terror. Even Nightingale's expression turns grim. Right then, I step out of the shop. The next second my body vanishes, reappearing dozens of meters away. After several consecutive blinks, I reach a high vantage point and gaze down calmly at the approaching horde. Every pair of eyes locks onto me. A wooden crate materializes in front of me and splits apart. Dozens of steel balls spill out and hover in the air. I aim at the zombie tide and give one gentle sweep. A stream of steel balls fires in a straight line. The sonic boom drowns out the gunfire. In a single instant, every zombie in front of the defense line is punched through and torn apart. A second volley fires, then a third, then a fourth. Everywhere the metal flood passes, it tears through them like paper. I'm a human Gatling gun, single-handedly clearing every zombie within 50 meters of the defense line. The entire square falls into an eerie hush. Only the low drone of the generators remains. The air reeks of blood. A moment later, I descend slowly from the high point. Every eye locks onto me, as if witnessing a miracle. I speak flatly. "Back to work." Nightingale is the first to snap out of it. Her voice booms through the speakers. "Get up and get back to work. Boss Milo does not feed freeloaders." The next second, the crowd stirs back to life. Survivors throw themselves back into their tasks. Deep, heavy reverence settles into every heart. Inside Bedrock headquarters, Granite watches the footage, overwhelmed with a sense of helplessness. He stays silent for a long time, then picks up the communicator. "Pass down my order. From this moment on, every member of Bedrock obeys Boss Milo without question." At the same time, Inside Lighthouse headquarters, the White Scholar has already deduced that I possess two distinct abilities. He sends his analysis back to command. The only reply: abandon all attempts to probe, fulfill Boss Milo's every need. I sit in the shop chair, replaying the battle in my head. I know full well that leaving the shop carried risk, but I chose to act for a reason. Letting the line break would have meant casualties. More importantly, this was a chance to shock everyone into submission. But the biggest reason was to give the 4 faction leaders an answer, to show them I am not trapped inside the shop. The soaring morale on the site proves this debut was a massive success. Power is the only rule of the Wasteland. With that thought, I radio Nightingale. Sweep the battlefield, collect every crystal core. Nightingale immediately rallies the Nightblade squad and gives the order. Nightblade moves fast. Seeing this, the 4 officers dispatch soldiers to help. In less than 30 minutes, the field is clean. Nightingale arrives at the shop door carrying buckets filled with crystal cores. I give the pile a light wave. In an instant, half the cores vanish. The other half stays in the buckets. I look at Scorpion and the 3 other officers. Split these among your 4 factions. All 4 catch their breath at once. Boss Milo, you did most of the fighting. It does not feel right taking this much. I wave them off. Anyone who fought deserves a share. Then thank you, Boss Milo. The other 3 quickly echo their gratitude. The 4 divide the cores among themselves. I turn to the workers and raise my hand. Dinner time. The next second, cheers erupt like thunder. Survivors drop their tools and charge toward the field kitchens. Nightblade members rush in to keep order. Form a line. Anyone who cuts ahead does not eat today. The survivors fall in line instantly, forming long, orderly queues. Food is distributed fast. Countless people grab their meals and squat on the ground, wolfing everything down. Some break into tears at the first bite of meat. The smell of cooked meat drifts across the square. The soldiers gather around tables too. Each table gets 8 dishes and a soup, with cigarettes and drinks flowing freely. They shovel food and trade loud jokes without a care, all tension and exhaustion swept clean away. An hour later, everyone is fed and satisfied. The foreman stands up and pats his belly. Belly's full? Then get back to it. No sleep tonight. We pour every last foundation before dawn. 1,000 voices roar in approval. Not a single complaint. The workers pick up their tools, spirits high, and march back to their posts. Machines roar to life once more. At the same time, the relief squads from the 4 factions arrive. They see the remnants of the feast on the tables and smell the lingering aroma in the air. They can only kick themselves for not volunteering for the first shift. But Nightingale arrives with her team carrying several crates. The crates are packed with fresh cigarettes. A gift from Boss Milo for the night crew. 1 pack each. Keep your edge. When you finish, come back for more. Unlimited supply. A buzz runs through the positions. Cigarettes the moment we show up. Boss Milo is too generous. The soldiers grab their packs and every shred of regret vanishes, replaced by excitement. Countless trails of smoke curl upward. Blissful expressions settle on every face. The clock hits 3 in the morning. The noise on the site has not died down. If anything, it has grown louder. Massive concrete mixers thunder to life. Moments later, gray concrete slurry flows through delivery pipes, poured precisely into the deep foundation pits. The foreman watches from the side, barely containing his excitement. Just then, a Nightblade member walks up to the foreman. Boss Milo wants to see you. The foreman freezes for a second, then jogs toward the shop. I am sitting in the chair by the entrance. He stops at the door, reverence in his voice. Boss Milo, you wanted to see me? I nod. No small talk. I hand over a blueprint. The foundation work is solid, but the wall design needs modifications. The foreman quickly takes the blueprint. Rows upon rows of densely marked openings cover the diagram. Before he can ask, I speak in an even tone. Build firing slits and internal passageways into the walls, battlements and watchtowers on top, pre-run cable ducts for cameras and searchlights. I want this wall to not only stop zombies but kill them. As for manpower and materials, that is not your concern. The foreman's breathing deepens. He recognizes instantly that this is a standard military-grade fortification. He raises his head. Determination burns in his eyes. I will get it done. He grabs the blueprint and sprints back to the site. The foreman gathers every key engineer and walks them through the new blueprint point by point. Soon the sky begins to lighten. The workers' eyes are bloodshot, yet not a trace of exhaustion shows on their faces. Only the thrill of a job being done. Every foundation is now poured. Engineers cluster around the blueprints, fabricating oddly shaped steel forms. These molds will be fixed between the rebar skeleton of the wall. Once the concrete is poured around them, standard firing slits and interior passageways will form automatically. The complexity of the build has jumped by orders of magnitude, yet no one complains. Every person knows this wall is their hope for survival. Before long, a crane hoists the first wall section into the air and lowers it precisely onto the foundation, locking seamlessly with the preset rebar. In this moment, the entire site erupts in thunderous cheering. Workers wave their tools in the air, even their bloodshot eyes glisten with tears. They stare at the fruit of their labor with raw emotion. Soldiers passing by during shift changes stop and stare in awe. They marvel at the transformation and the sheer strength of the wall. Just then, the smell of food drifts through the air again. Nightingale's voice calls out, "Everyone, come eat breakfast!" Tables are covered with food, steaming white rice porridge, and fresh meat buns straight from the steamer. The workers set down their tools and line up without being told. This time, no one wolfs the food down. They eat slowly, savoring each bite, as if the peaceful life before the fall has returned. I step out of the shop and call Nightingale to the door. I am leaving. 12 hours, roughly. While I am gone, you have full authority here. Construction does not stop. Coordinate the 4 factions' defense as well. Keep recruiting. Don't worry about headcount. As long as they pass screening, put them to work. Nightingale answers firmly. Yes, boss. I gaze at the bustling scene one last time, then turn back into the shop and trigger the shift. Half an hour after returning to the real world, I arrive at the Novastar Technologies building. Kira is already waiting at the entrance. Chairman Milo, Director Zhang and his team are upstairs in the conference room. I nod and follow Kira inside. Before long, I enter the conference room. A middle-aged man sits composed in a chair. This is Director Zhang from the Energy Bureau. A secretary stands behind him. Director Zhang rises when he sees me. Mr. Milo, impressive for someone so young. I extend my hand with a smile. Director Zhang, good to meet you. We take our seats. Kira begins presenting the company's development plan. Director Zhang listens intently. His secretary scribbles rapidly in a notebook. After about 15 minutes, Kira wraps up. Director Zhang speaks first. I have read the technical report, revolutionary to say the least, but I need to know, is the technology source reliable? Are future upgrades guaranteed? How quickly can production capacity be restored? Kira tenses up immediately, but my expression does not waver. The technology source is a trade secret. I cannot disclose it. What I can guarantee is that this technology is entirely under my personal control. There are 0 patent disputes. Upgrades are already planned through the 5th generation. Production can resume within a month. The only thing that might slow us down is certain administrative approvals. A knowing curve appears at the corner of Director Zhang's mouth. You do not need to worry about approvals. However, I have a suggestion. I would like the state to invest in a new joint venture. Together we develop and produce the Nova series batteries. In return, you receive full-spectrum government policy support. Kira looks at me nervously. She understands exactly what this means. The government wants to absorb Novastar and take the most critical technology. The next second I smile. Interesting proposal, but I think there has been a misunderstanding. I am not sitting here today to ask for help. I am offering the nation an opportunity to lead the energy revolution. As for cooperation, I can set up a new sales company dedicated to military and national strategic orders. Novastar Technologies holds 90%. That is my bottom line. The temperature in the room plunges. Director Zhang's expression visibly darkens. Without government approval, can your batteries even leave this building? I lean back in my chair, completely relaxed. What do you think matters more, approval paperwork or freeing the nation from energy dependence for good? The 5th generation tech has 3 times the energy density of the Nova 1. It has already entered prototype testing. My technology can stay here, but it can just as easily go to any other country. A chill runs down Director Zhang's spine. If this technology leaves the country, the responsibility is more than he can bear. After a tense moment, Director Zhang shoots to his feet. Allow me to make a call. He pulls out his phone and steps out. 2 minutes later, he walks back in. He takes a deep breath. We agree to all of your terms. Not only that, the nation will provide you with every form of support, no upper limit. I slowly extend my hand. Then it is a pleasure doing business. Director Zhang sees this and immediately clasps my hand. The pleasure is ours.